All protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow film lovers. Don't we love film? And that is why we are here. Good evening and welcome to the 5th edition of Women in Film Awards. Tonight we gather to celebrate profound impact of women in the world of cinema under the theme, Film Past, Film Present, Women Deliver. As we reflect on the rich tapestry of the Kenyan film industry, we cannot overlook the pivotal role that women filmmakers have played in the film industry. Women have continuously shaped and reshaped the landscape of cinema, leaving an indelible mark on our screen. The film past reminds us of trailblazers like Dr. Anne Mungai, Wanjiru Kinyanjui, Jane Munene, and others. Their courage and creativity has paved way for future generations of women to follow their dreams. Yet, our celebration extends beyond the achievements of the past. Tonight, we also honor the dynamic contributions of women in the film present. In the industry that is constantly evolving, women continue to challenge stereotypes, break down barriers, and bring fresh perspectives to the screen. From directors, producers, to writers, cinematographers, women are making their voices heard and their stories seen in a multitude of genres and platforms. They are creating compelling narratives that resonate with the audience worldwide while championing diversity and inclusion, both in front and behind the camera. However, our theme goes beyond mere acknowledgement. It serves as a call to action. Women Deliver speaks to the power of women in the film, not only to entertain, but also to deliver on high-quality production. And tonight, we are here to celebrate the women who have delivered powerful messages through their art, pushing boundaries and shaping the future of the Kenyan film industry. We salute their creativity, resilience, unwavering dedication to their craft. As we honor the achievement of tonight's awards recipients, let us also reaffirm our commitment to supporting and uplifting women in film. We can do this by watching the content that they create. And this content, we can find it in different platforms. We have platforms like Showmax, My Movies Africa, Mnet, among many other platforms that we can be able to access these films. Let us create an industry where every woman has the opportunity to thrive, and where every story, regardless of who is telling it, is given the platform it deserves. In closing, I want to express my deepest gratitude to all the indelible women in film who continue to inspire us with their talent and passion. Thank you for your invariable contributions to the world of cinema, and may your light continue to shine brightly for generations to come. I also want to say a big thank you to our partners. What we are experiencing here tonight would not have been possible without the support of organizations that believe in our vision. I want to say thank you to Kenya Film Commission. I want to say thank you to MultiChoice Kenya, My Movies Africa, Fat Productions, Yakwetu Charlene Ruto, KICD, who are hosting us tonight, Gibson's, I hope you have really enjoyed the cocktails. We have Cogwheel, we have Red Grass Republic, Media Focus on Africa, Expose, Prestige Events, Uber, Sanapost, Stephanie Makeup, Denise, Madam Producer, and Maureen Koech. Your belief in our mission to empower and uplift women filmmakers is truly inspiring, and we are deeply grateful for your partnership. Thank you.
Wasting much time, I'd like you to put your hands together and help me welcome the one and only Daisy Nyawira. Appreciate how she comes. She looks fabulous. Amazing. Yes. The epitome of mental health and filmmaking converging. We appreciate you. The floor is yours.
Well, my name is Daisy Nyawira, also known as Tata Nyawira, for those who know me. I keep telling my clients that I found myself professionally and personally exuding auntie vibes hence the name Tata, which is auntie in Kikuyu. I am a producer and a counseling psychologist. Started off my producing journey as a stage producer and later had an opportunity to start film producing at the New York Film Academy, but in the LA campus. While there, I got to do my internship shadowing the producer of a series known as Aquarius that starred David Duchovny. Working with actors and artists over time made me very interested in understanding human behavior, hence my going back to school to study psychology. I'm sure our producers understand this. Yes. I now wear both hats, but mostly that of a counselor, though from time to time when I get a chance, I love to be part of teams that create beautiful stories, like most recently being part of the feature film Mono. Yes, now that you have an idea of who I am, allow me to tell you a story. We are all here as storytellers, so I'll communicate by the use of a story. So follow with me and track with me. Our main character this evening is called Monique. Monique is 37, a firstborn of 3. She was raised by her mom single-handedly since her dad passed away when she was 7. Her mom worked as a teacher and struggled financially to bring them up on her salary. Monique stayed home because of having few challenges, severally during her growing up years. Her mom meant well, but didn't have the capacity to be anything else to her children, emotionally or otherwise, apart from feeding, clothing, and putting a roof over her children's heads and dealing with her demeaning in-laws. Are we still together? Or have I lost you? Monique grew up wanting to help her mom out and provide for her brothers. She became what we know as a good girl. Luckily for her, she was bright, so she got straight A's, stayed out of trouble, so her father's relatives would not insult her mom for raising an empty Debbie. Becoming the role model for the extended family, where her cousins were questioned, why couldn't they be like her? Fast forward, Monique finally got a job. She's now able to comfortably support her mom and brothers and is now dating Albert. Albert is the last born of 2, the only boy raised in a middle-class 2-parent home where the father was always on business. The mom also worked in a corporate organization and was rarely home. He went to a good school, was average in his performance, but his family was able to take both he and his sister abroad for uni. He came back to the country 2 years ago and has been trying to find his footing as an exporter. He's always looking for big deals and believes his big break is coming, and so refuses to take up any entry-level jobs. In the meantime, he lives at home, is always out on the weekend with his friends, and believes life is lived once, so has no worries about saving or the future. Are we still together? So now I've introduced Monique and who? And Albert. So Monique finds Albert's spontaneity extremely attractive, but is very conflicted because she has always lived her life safe and fearful of the future. While she enjoys the thrill that comes from Albert's lifestyle, secretly she worries that he seems not to care about the future. Albert now lives 90% in her house and does not seem bothered about chipping in to pay the bills. Monique now finds herself not only taking care of her mom and brothers, but is also now taking care of Albert as they both await his big break. She's mentally and physically exhausted on most days, and she recently visited her gyna because her period has been very irregular. She's always secretly hoping that one day things will be better and she will also be taken care of. Well, does this sound like a story we can relate to, especially for the women? No, we can't relate to this. That's okay. It's not a story you know or you know about. Unfortunately, this is the story of many women. One of misplaced hope. One of giving to everyone but ourselves, in the hope that as we give, it will come back to us. One of enabling bad behavior, by not creating boundaries around what we should or shouldn't take. Not out of our own fault, really, but just like Monique, at times out of fear of rejection or wanting desperately to belong because we have never belonged. Monique, unbeknownst to her, has been carrying the weight of her mom, her dad's death, her dad's relatives' abuse on her mom, her brother's provision, and now Albert's business all on her shoulders. She never allowed herself to feel the weight, and over the years just repressed the emotions, studied hard, and now works just as hard. And that's what we do as women. Allow me to talk to the women, gentlemen, because it's International Women's Day. That's what we do as women. We say we are fine, even when we are not. We keep moving, even when we know we need to rest. We believe it's us to deliver, even when the wise thing is to ask for help. We would be surprised to know that research has suggested that for decades, women are more prone to develop diseases such as breast cancer if their childhoods were characterized by emotional disconnection from their parents, which is what happened to Monique. Other disturbances in their upbringing, such as her dad's early death, if they tend to repress emotions, and a lot of women repress their emotions. Remember that Monique was a role model, so she didn't feel like she had a choice in expressing her emotions raw. If they lack nurturing social relationships in adulthood. And for sure, for Monique, between dating Albert to provide for everyone, her time is spent and she cannot see how she can keep up with a social calendar. Women are very altruistic. They are consistently giving to everyone but themselves. And this is what research is showing us. To rest when you need to. I know I've been told to give you tools. Part of these tools is rest. Take time to rest. Ask for help when feeling overwhelmed. Figure out who amongst your friends you can trust to show up authentically as. And in the age of social media and a lot of information, don't just indulge in reading about mental health awareness. Do something about it now, because ultimately, you are your own superhero. Not the industry, not the producers, not your parents. Yes, they messed up, but when we know better, we do better. When we know better, we do better. And finally, for the women, it's not the man in your life. Have a good evening, guys, and hongera to all the nominees. Thank you.
Now, I want to call upon on stage the next speaker of the evening. We're honored to have with us Jacqueline Onyango. She is the Senior Deputy Director, Basic Education Curriculum Development from Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. Give her a round of applause.
Special guests, Charlotte Ruto, and our first daughter of Zimbabwe, the CEO, Kenya Film Commission, all the dignitaries who are here, all the special guests, and all the awardees. Good evening. As you've been told, my name is Mrs. Jacqueline Onyango. I head the Directorate of Curriculum Development here. So the new curriculum, the competency-based curriculum that you have so many questions about, I am here and you can ask those questions. But allow me to begin the evening by welcoming you to KICD. This is a state corporation that is charged with developing curriculum and curriculum support materials for learners from the pre-primary level on to secondary and special needs And at the same time, we do the same for teacher education. The only level we don't develop curriculum for is the university. Allow me to bring the greetings of our CEO, Professor Charles Ongondo. He would have loved to be with us, but was on assignment in Naivasha and was not able to join us, and therefore I stand in on his behalf. Allow me to recognize the wonderful KICD team that has made you guys wear beautiful dresses, wear beautiful smiles, and the reason why you did that is because you are hopeful that there was going to be a lovely cocktail that had a lot of food. KICD team, kindly, just for recognition, wherever you are. I know the others are outside, but we want to thank them for making you comfortable and making you able to start the occasion that we have. As I said, we do develop curriculum, and one of the most challenging things when you're developing curriculum is to know the future that the child for whom you're developing curriculum is going to face. The second challenge we have in this decade is that we have a populace that is completely on the opposite side of who we were in terms of our outlook to life and the experiences they have. I want to imagine that when I say that, you know what my age is. We are the age that, are we the natives or those who are not digitally compliant? But we have the challenge to look out and ensure that the youth that we are preparing curriculum for can be able to use it in the manner that the future will behold. But seeing the whole of this fraternity here today, I think I feel very excited, and I had a wonderful conversation with the CEO. Within the competency-based curriculum, we have 3 pathways. The first pathway is the arts and sports pathway, that is for senior school. The second pathway is our social sciences, and the third pathway is our STEM. And I know of interest to the fraternity here would be the arts and sports pathway. We have challenged ourselves that for the arts, we are creating a subject we are calling theater and film. I had no idea that there was a fraternity that was so serious on matters of film. But I want to assure the fraternity here that we are in sync with where you want to go. So children who will be interested in the world of film, in the world of theater, will find a home from secondary school, which starts with grade 10, 11, and 12. I think you should give us a round of applause. That even as we are the Zinjanthropers, we are wading into the real life. So today I want to do 2 things on behalf of my CEO. One, to be very grateful to all of you that you actually chose KICD to be the place to celebrate your 5th awards. It is a great honor to us because in the short time that we have engaged with you, we know the direction to take with regards to what is going to be taught. And 2, to congratulate each and every individual who is here for the kind of support or the kind of experiences or the kind of participation that you have taken to be here. Indeed, just like education is a long journey, those who have spoken before me have indicated it is a long journey. But everything that you work hard for gives you the best result. And so I want to wish you all the best, even as you receive your awards, and pray that you'll continue to work with us. I want to believe that we will be able to pick quite a number of you from this fraternity to help us shape the curriculum that we are intending to undertake. So with those few remarks, feel at home at KICD, and I hope you can come more often, even just for a walk. Miss Charlene, we are actually inviting you for a special visit, where you just come and see what we do. Like I indicated, we have the Education Cloud that can host even what you're producing. And therefore, it will be an opportunity for you to come back and be able to see what we have and be able to see how it can help in disseminating the kind of information that you may have. We also have a 24/7 channel, which is a TV channel. We broadcast through the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, and all these productions are done within this institution. So I want to wish you well and excited that we've been able to mingle with a fraternity like yours. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy International Women's Day. All protocols observed. If you're sitting right next to a lady, just tell her, Happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much for that. It is good to recognize women and the efforts that you're putting in the industry. I'm here to speak on behalf of the jury that sat together. Thank you so much for appreciating the women, and thank you for recognizing the efforts that you put in the industry. I'm here to speak on behalf of the jury that sat together to be able to celebrate and recognize the women in the industry. It is with great pleasure to see all of us celebrating the 5th edition of the Women in Film Awards. It has indeed been 5 great years of appreciating and celebrating great women in the film industry. The strides have been phenomenal, and the pride that women filmmakers have in their work has been seen at large and has created opportunity for the next generation of women. This year, as the jury, we did note a few things that we love to share with everyone who is here today. Women filmmakers are becoming... Can we have silence in the room, kindly? Yes, thank you so much. So we are here to recognize and just to point out a few things that we noted as the jury for the Women in Film Awards, the 5th edition. The women in the film industry are becoming very visible, and this was easily noticed through their social media presence. Women are getting to talk about the projects they're doing. Women are also getting to talk about the things they're doing on their respective platform. Compared to 5 years ago, where it was an uphill task to know who was doing what and who was who, this year it was worth to recognize that women were proudly putting their works out there and talking loudly on these particular platforms. So it was easier to know who is under which department, what are their current projects, and what is happening in the industry. This year, WIFA received a very large number of people voting for their preferred candidates, who are the nominees that have brought us together here to celebrate them. We had around 14,000 people casting their votes for the respective people. That is what's celebrating as compared to last year when we had roughly 10,000. So this year we saw an increase in terms of 4,000 people voting. The nominees also put in their best foot forward in sourcing for votes. The votes were tight in all categories. The difference was very minimal. To some extent, it was just a difference of 5 votes. This year, WIFA received nominations for women spanning all ages. Unlike before, where the nomination were purely for very young people who are very active in the industry, this year it is worth to recognize that women across all age brackets were being nominated in the respective awards, and also women in all these age brackets were being visible in terms of the social media visibility. The child actor category also had many entries, which showed the industry is also doing well in matters of art and talent sustainability. I think that deserves a round of applause. Thank you so much. In 2024, the number of women filmmakers in the vernacular film space also increased. We did receive a lot of nominations from women who are doing vernacular programs in terms of the producers, directors, actors. This also shows that the element of appreciation of local talent, cultural heritage and aspect was recognized. And I think this also deserves a round of applause that you're trying to appreciate our language and our culture. With all these good points said, there are still some challenges being seen from the jury side, especially in some departments within the industry. We have departments like sound, lighting, that had minimal entries. And when we say minimal, you find they only add 2 or 1, or at some point, no entries at all. So I think those are areas that we really need to sit down and converse and see how to find the solution forward. More women also need to pick up some of the roles like cinematography, because as seen in the nomination, we had repetition of the people who have been previously nominated within the category. All this is in contrast to the awards for production design, especially in the departments of set, makeup, acting, wardrobe, that had numerous awards. To some extent, it was very hard to decide who was going to be nominated and who was going to hold on a bit. All in all, this year the jury was put to task in sifting through the large number of nominees and appreciating the most deserving women at this particular time. To all the women filmmakers, please keep doing what you're doing. We see you, we appreciate you, we recognize you, and we are here to tell you, you deserve it, you're worthy. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my remarks as the jury representative this evening. To all the nominees, thank you so much for making the industry alive. That has been me, Vigilance Atieno. Thank you so much.
Costume designer. And our nominees are, ladies and gentlemen, Bani Amandine, Eda Wakesho, Malika Doris, Sarah Owini, Vivian Jerry, and the best costume designer for INWIFA 2024 is none other than
Benny Amandine,
Give it up for Lady Mandy. Lady Mandy, where are you?
Keep this very short. So first, happy International Women's Day to all the women in this room. And I want to give this to all the women that allow me to be part of their journeys, and to all the people that have allowed me to do this and who have supported me. So yay!
Night for Best Makeup Artist, WIFA 2024. Now nominees are Leah Kazia, Melissa Lesilale, Nancy Odhiambo, Sarah Wangui Kimotho, Stacy Gishinjo, and tonight, the best makeup artist, the first changer for WIFA 2024. even as we confirm the name just to make sure it is correct. Ladies and gentlemen, our winner tonight is...
And the winner is Melissa Lesilari.
Give it up for Melissa! Come on!
First of all, I want to thank God for just favor. And every person who voted for me, I am grateful. Sorry, guys, I'm shaking. I come from minute communities in this country, and I have to mention that. My mom is Pokomo from Tana River. And my dad is not Taita, Taveta was. So the mighty Kanana Sindo, thank you for your votes. And the Sharias, thank you for your vote. And the Lesilales, and you can see my best friend here, the cinematographer, thank you. And my two amazing kids and all the production houses that gave me the opportunities. I thank you so much.
From the corridors of YouTube to the landscapes of Instagram, digital content creators are the architects of our online experiences. With their boundless creativity and entrepreneurial spirits, they have transformed the internet into a vibrant marketplace of ideas. Lakini saa zingine wanatupatia pressure, au sio? A lot of it, but we love you all, our digital content creators. Let us have a look at who are our nominees.
And indeed, in the spirit of giving us pressure this evening, our nominees for Best Digital Content Creator WIFA 2024 are the first one, Chibet Rono, Shiro Muruki, Doria Chege, Jackie Vike, Murigi Munyi, and the Best Digital Content Creator in WIFA 2024, Daktari, is none other than Nani?
Is none other than, because I like breaking protocol, I just want to remind you to come for the premiere of my film on 27th of March at KICC. Don't miss it. It's of women heroes, Otis Janam. And
the Best Digital Content Creator in WIFA 2024 is none other than Jackie Vike! Give it up for Jackie Vike! Where is she? Are you a neighbor of Jackie Vike tonight? You can come and appreciate on behalf. Who else can appreciate? Do we have somebody to represent? Oh, you can come. Come. Give it up for her. Come on. She looks gorgeous. Yes. All right. Best Digital Content Creator. Yes, 2024 WIFA.
Jackie Vike, guys. Mimi ni Shigwan, but on behalf of Jackie Vike, hii ni ya mademu wote wa Islando. Hii ni ya mademu wote wa mtaa.
For Best Child Actress tonight,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Art and Culture Monday. You're watching KUTV Kenya and you're with me, Karen Blessing, and you've been here for about 40 minutes. So thank you for joining us as we are taking you through what happened in the Women in Film Awards 2024 that went down on International Women's Day, and we are just giving you a recap. So thank you for standing by the last 40 minutes. We were just showing you the work that women in film are doing, from girls, from young girls to young women to older women. All of the contributions that they're bringing to the film industry is what we were bringing to you from the Women in Film Awards 2024. If you were there, if you attended, or if you have something to say regarding the awards that were given, the speeches that were given, the floor is open. All right, I am ready for your feedback. I'm ready for you. I am ready to hear your opinion about the films that the women in this country are making, because that is what WIFA is made for, to appreciate women in film, to appreciate the work that is being done specifically by women, meaning women's contributions in the film industry. And this is Art and Culture Monday. We are big on any form of art, and that largely includes film. All right, so we will keep taking you through. We will give you bits and bits over here and over there. If you didn't know the winners, the last time we had this conversation, we were talking just about nominees and about voting that had ended already. So in case you were not aware of the winners of any category of your choice, stick around, because we are going to be bringing you much more on the Women in Film Awards. So stick around for that one. But thank you for keeping it KUTV Kenya. And I really do hope that you are looking forward to the films that have been made by women in this country and what is cooking currently. So karibuni sana to Art and Culture Monday. We are of course going to be giving you a few films that women are making in this country, including Otis Janam. We had a conversation about Otis Janam last Monday, and this one is by Dr. Zippy Okoth, who is proudly a woman that is doing the most in the film industry. So I hope that we are still on track on the 27th of March at the KICC to go and watch Otis Janam. And that is just one of the films that women are making in this country. There is much more. There is a lot more that you can enjoy. There is a lot more that you can watch. So karibuni sana to Art and Culture Monday. Thank you for keeping me company during our recap of Women in Film Awards. Karibuni sana. Officially, we are ready to do this. We are ready to start your week in style. And kama kawaida, we start with the count of our Mondays, because we have to remind ourselves, this is a new week. Time is flying by. We need to get to business. Whatever it is that you have decided to do this week, it's about time. All right, so karibuni sana. This is the 18th Monday. Yes, this is the 18th of March. Of course, the year is 2024. This is the 18th of March. We are wrapping up. As you can see, the first half of the month of March is gone. So yeah, this is also the 12th Monday of the year 2024, which means that we have exactly 40 more Mondays to go. Just 40 weeks, guys. The other day we were talking about a whole 52 weeks. 12 of them are down. So yeah, like I said, that thing that you have planned to do in the year 2024, it's about time. It's about time you jump into it. So this is the 12th Monday of the year 2024, which means that we have exactly 4 more Mondays to go. And once again, for week number 12, we are here to make sure that we have started it in style. Manchester fans are happy. Congratulations to you guys this morning for your win yesterday against Liverpool. I know you guys are happy, so a big congratulations. And karibuni sana. I hope that you're part of the Art and Culture Monday gang. If you're wondering where you can find us this morning, we are of course on KUTV, so on your television. But in case you're living, we are streaming live right about now on YouTube. So kimbieni pale YouTube, look for KUTV Kenya. The show that is streaming right now is actually Art and Culture Monday. So that means I can keep you company as you head into work, which I know most likely you are this morning, or even if you work from home, just run there to YouTube. Tell me how your morning is doing. Let me know how you are doing generally, all right? And I'm going to be appreciating your feedback. So today we have an amazing show lined up for you. You do not want to miss this one for any reason. Number one, it's been a while since we've had a comedian on set, and our guest number one is actually a comedian. He's already around. We are doing a follow-up interview because he was here some times back on Omera the Comedian. He was here. I think then he was just starting to see, okay, how is this comedy thing going? But he has done more than just start out, guys. We are going to follow up on exactly the growth of his comedian career and the businesses that have come with it on the side, which are a good number. So we are going to be sitting down with Omera the comedian, and we are going to get to know, follow up on since the last time you were here. Because we are not in the habit of just having guests and then letting them go without good follow-up. So we are going to have him here. He's going to be telling us exactly how he's doing, how his comedy career is picking up. And of course, hopefully laugh at a few jokes, So stick around for that conversation. And then the second conversation, ladies and gentlemen, because we say we are here to have conversations that are helpful, not just to laugh and go our way. We are here to have amazing conversations. So our second conversation, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be on teenage pregnancies in Kenya. Yeah, we are going to be talking about that because the state of the nation in that regard is not great. I was going through the statistics on that specific topic on teenage pregnancies, and they are unbelievable because apparently, according to statistics as of this day, there are about 696 girls that get pregnant, hold your breath, daily. Yep, on a day. This is not weekly, it's not monthly. I would have accepted those statistics as a danger if they said monthly, because those numbers are still crazy high. 696 girls get pregnant, teenage girls who have no business with motherhood because they are still very young. 696 girls are getting pregnant on a daily in this country. Sio mbali. We are not talking about East Africa, we're talking about Kenya. So that is a conversation that we definitely need to have. So today I thought, you know what, we are not even going to have this conversation at me and you pushing back and forth, wondering what to do. No, we're going to be seated with professionals, people who know exactly what they are talking about statistically, and as well as a call to action. What can we do? Because these numbers need to go down by 100%. All right? So that is the other conversation that we are going to be having. I cannot wait to have it. It is important because I know wherever you're watching me from, I can almost guarantee that you know a teenage girl. If they are not your kid, they are your sibling, they are your neighbor, everybody has a connection to a young teenage girl. So I think all of us should be ready and willing to have this conversation. So again, you can find me on our social media handles. Ask any question, contribute to what are your thoughts on the teenage pregnancy rate in this country, because we're going to be seated, and like I said, we're going to be seated with people. I'm going to be seated with people in authority, people that are able to answer our questions, people that are able to handle the tough questions that come with these statistics. So I need you to stick around. I need you to stick around to have that conversation with me. But other than that, the show is going to be amazing. It's going to be fire. Remember, we have to breathe. We have to alternate between difficult conversations and, of course, starting your Monday great. So that also involves our art calendar. We're not going to move away from here before we bring you our art calendar to tell you what you can be doing. This end month will be Easter holiday, so there needs to be something going on, and if there is, we have found it and we are going to be sharing it with you. So stick around on Art and Culture Monday. That is the show at large, and I can promise you that it is going to be worth every minute of your time. So ladies and gentlemen, officially welcome to Art and Culture Monday. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you know, before we begin, we have to understand how our roads are doing this morning, because like I said, I understand you most probably are on transit this morning, most likely headed into the CBD. So we want to see the main roads that are headed into the CBD and how they are doing exactly. And this morning, we are doing so courtesy of Mathri Route on X. So we want to take a look and see. And also, you can keep me updated and let me know, because I believe you are the one on the road. So keep me posted. I'm going to be here all the way up to 10 a.m. So keep me posted. Let me see. Let me know how the traffic is doing on your side. All right. To begin with, Magadi Road. Magadi Road this morning is not doing great. If you're using Magadi Road, especially around Galleria, the traffic there is a bit much. So you're going to be taking some time, but not to worry, you will get to work. And of course, Art and Culture Monday is keeping you company. All right. Someone else is saying Mbagathi this morning is also, hey, not as great. All right. He's asking if there is any alternative route. If you're on Mbagathi Way and you found any alternative route this morning, you can share it with us. But if you are yet to use Mbagathi Way, you might as well wait a bit, because the traffic on that side is crazy this morning. Let's see if there's some more updates. Yes, someone is saying there has been an accident towards Airport North Road Junction. That was about 33 minutes ago. So there is a bit of traffic on Outer Ring Road because of that specific reason. So if you're using Outer Ring Road this morning, also you may be taking a minute or longer than that. So, but if you can wait or use an alternative route, please go ahead and do exactly that. Let's see. This morning, again, Wayakiwe ni bumper to bumper, like always. Yes, Wayakiwe is not doing great this morning. There's a little bit of traffic, but it's moving. So at least there's a bit of hope on that side. So if you're using Wayakiwe, again, take note so that you can prepare accordingly. All right. Let's see if there is any more. Mombasa Road also is not doing great. Mombasa Road, there is traffic. It's moving. There is traffic in bits. That is the update I'm getting here. There is traffic in bits along Mombasa Road. So if you can avoid it, go ahead. If you cannot, know that you're going to be using some more time on traffic this morning. And I think that is all we have, courtesy of Mathri Route on X. There is another one. Someone is asking what is happening at Ngong Road. We are not moving. Yes, so Ngong Road this morning also is not doing great. So if you're on that side of the road, you might also be taking some time. And I think that is about it, courtesy of Mathri Route on X. But like I said, I'm going to be here all the way until 10 a.m. So feel free to keep me posted, and the easiest way is to go on YouTube, where we are streaming live, and Facebook. That is amazing. So whether you are on YouTube or Facebook, we are streaming live. Just look for KUTV Kenya. The show is #Art and Culture Monday. Drop me your comment. Let me know how traffic is doing on your side, and I am going to be getting into that in just a bit. But right about now, that's all on our roads updates. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, we're about to wrap up our first hour, and we started with Women in Film Awards. We had a recap from the Women in Film Awards that happened on International Women's Day, and we are still going to be bringing you a bit of exactly what happened. So stick around for that one, and also stick around to know films that have been made by filmmakers in this country, and not just male filmmakers, but also female filmmakers. All right, so stick around for that specific conversation. Like I told you, in the course of this show, we are going to be having another conversation on the teenage pregnancies in Kenya, which is alarming, the rate at which there are teenage pregnancies on a daily. Like we've said, statistics are stating that 696 girls get pregnant every day. Teenage girls get pregnant every day, which is alarming. So we are going to be having that conversation in just a bit, like I said, with professionals professionals, with medical directors and program advisors. So we are going to be seated down and having proper conversation. So if you have any question, any contribution, however, on the rate of teenage pregnancies in Kenya, this is your time to share it. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. So kimbia pale, drop me your comment, drop me your question, and I'm going to be bringing it on the table as we have that conversation. So stick around. That one is definitely going to be involving you this morning. And I said that we don't just have tough conversations. I know it's a Monday morning, so we are going, to help you water down that conversation a little bit with another interview from a comedian that has been here before. We are doing a follow-up on how he has been doing. Omera the comedian has been here before when he was very fresh into his career, but now he's done some growing. He's done some growing alongside starting businesses within his comedy career. So we are going to get to know him, and he is going to be our first guest of the day. You and I are waiting for him very eagerly. He's already around, so stick around for that specific conversation. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to take a fast break as we wrap up our first hour. See you at the very beginning of the second hour.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
From the farm to the consumer, we explore agribusiness opportunities right here with you.
Changamoto lingine ni soko. Soko saa ingine bei inashuka tu drastic, kama saa hii hoho imeshuka chini.
On Money Monday, we explore business stories and engage business professionals as reference points for analyzing investment opportunities.
Last year, the economy grew by 4.8%, and which is really an indication of the resilience of the economy.
If we don't grow the economy, then we cannot have economic transformation.
We shall bring you up to speed with everything taking center stage in the business world and the state of the nation. Join me, Ann Odida, every Sunday and Monday for captivating, entertaining, and informative stories at 9 p.m.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu. Pepo pa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
I'm kind of scared, but I can do this.
Yeah.
Mess with me. Yeah, let's do this, man.
Ni kaunti maarufu kwa kuzalisha maziwa na ukuzaji wa majani chai. Pia, serikali ya kaunti inawahimiza wakulima kukumbatia mitindo mingine ya kilimo kuzidisha mapato.
Kama kuna kikundi moja inafanya biashara ya kuuza kuku, hao pia tumewafadhili kuwafunza jinsi ya kuhandle zile kuku kwa sababu wanaleta kwa wingi.
Haya yote tunakuletea katika Boresha Kilimo, toleo la kaunti ya Bomet.
Kilimo ni nguzo kubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Child actress tonight. Angela Dorcas Zawadi, Itana Njeri, Gift Mora, Anna Wanjiku, Shikaina, and the best child actress. Since every one of us has an experience being a child, tonight, the best one is none other than?
I'm going to break protocol as well. So I am holding child acting classes on the 16th of March and all through to the month of April. So if you have a little drama queen or a little drama king in your family, sign them up for my acting class.
All right, and now to appreciate the drama queen, WIFA 2024. Best child actress is none other than
Shekina.
Give it up for Shekina. Where's she? Hey. Come on, appreciate her. Yeah. The current and the future of film industry is right now on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate her. Beautiful.
Wow. Good evening. Hey, Bwana. Let us put some psych. Good evening. Let's get even much more better. Good evening. Yes. So like, hey, I'm even shaking. Just like my name. Huh. Like, I didn't, like, hey, I'm even too excited. What? Hey. But first of all, of course, I'm gonna thank God for giving me this talent. Kama sio yeye, I couldn't be here standing right now. And next, I wanna thank my mom, cause, yeah. I wanna thank my mom, cause kama sio yeye kuona niko na talent, hangeniweka kwa auditions. And next, I wanna thank, hey, yeah. I wanna thank Moonbeam Productions for accepting me as Stacy and Don Shita. I'm very grateful. Hey, Kume, this is how people feel. Yeah. Wow. Hey. Hey. I'm even out of words. Ni God. The daughter to Ruto. Usiende kama hatujapiga picha. Na nimesikia Aziada kwa hapa. Aki. Usiende.
Let us give Shekinah a better round of applause. Another round of applause to Shalvin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mko poa? Allow me to stand on the protocol that has already been observed. And I'm so honored to be here this year. Last year I came for WIFA, but I was not dressed like this. I was in a pantsuit. I'd come from a meeting. In that meeting, my mentor in this industry and in the creative arts, Ezekiel Onyango, were having a catch-up. He was briefing me about the industry. And I remember Dr. Susan she had already messaged me about this, but somehow it got lost in many other messages that I received. So he reminded me, he was like, you remember there's the Women in Film Awards? I was like, yeah. He's like, it's tonight. I'm like, oh. He's like, iko tu hapa. We were at a hotel nearby. We were like, situpitie tu. So that is how we PTA'd. That's passed by. And that's how I got introduced to WIFA. And I committed and dedicated to have a dinner that time for the finalists, which we did, right? Yeah, I keep my word. I'm a woman of my word. So we had such an amazing finalists dinner last year. I got to meet such creative minds. And this year when Dr. Susan reached out again for us to partner, it was a definite yes. It's so crazy that this afternoon as Melissa Pambo by Mel was doing my makeup, I was asking her, have you been nominated for WIFA? And she's like, yeah, I've been nominated. I'm like, why didn't you ask me to vote for you? She's like, no, I saw you are so busy. I see you've been traveling. And I told her, no matter how busy I am or how much I'm traveling, anytime, because I support young women, send me a message. I will do my best to support you. And I want to share this message to also the young women and the women in this room, that as a youth champion, I'll do whatever is within my reach, whatever is within my power to support each and every one of you. So I think one of the main reasons I'm here is I think I'm supposed to introduce Tariro, if I'm right. I'm supposed to introduce Tariro, right? So I want to tell you an amazing story about this amazing young woman. We met at the Kalasha Awards in 2022. Again, I was not planning to go for those awards. I didn't have any makeup on, which most days I don't put on makeup anyway. But it was a glamorous dinner. So again, Ezekiel Onyango is like, so these Kalasha Awards, we go. I'm like, I'm not sure I'm very appropriately dressed. He's like, no, it's not a big deal. Let's just go. So we go on his insistence to the Kalasha Awards, and I present an award, and Tariro is at that event as well, and we connect from there on.
But something very spectacular about once we exchanged numbers with Tariro is around the time I was being bashed a lot on social media, we were having a conversation with her, and I really respect Dr. Susan and what she's doing here to do something that God has called you to do, or to carry out a vision. Even when people don't understand you, people are not going to fund you, it really takes a lot. It's like carrying a pregnancy, and you want to carry it to full term and go into labor. So I really do respect that. And I understand it even more because I have a vision for the young people. And it's not easy, but because I love the young people, then God gives me the grace. So I remember I was chatting with Tariro, and I was wishing her a happy new year, and she was asking me how I'm doing. And I was telling her, I was asking how she's doing. She told me she's well. And I told her I'm also well, but I feel like I'm in labor. And I wrote in brackets, not physically. And she told me, remember to breathe, in brackets, physically. And that totally supported me at that time. Thank you, Tariro, for your kind words and support during that time. So this amazing young woman I introduced to you is not just a filmmaker, she's somebody who is so passionate about this industry. She supports, I was surprised, she has so many friends in Kenya already. Me, I'm just coming to be added to the list. She supports the young women in film. She goes to great lengths in production and in the film industry to do amazing, amazing things. So please, this is my mgeni, lazima msimame. So please, let's all be upstanding and let's welcome Ms. Tariro Washe to the stage to give us her remarks.
Distinguished guests, fellow filmmakers, nominees,
Data film in WIFA 2024 is none other than
Genoa. Genoa.
Genoa. Genoa. Give it up for the Genoa team. Incredible. Formidable. Ladies. Let us smile for the cameras.
Good evening. My name is Wendy Kirore, and I'm here with I was the producer for Genoa, The Rise of Gladys Wanga. And this win goes out to all the female who participated at Filamu Dada. And thank you to also the men who really, really supported us.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, thank you. First and foremost, I would like to thank our governor, Honorable Gladys Wanga. It's not easy having cameras on your face, during campaigns. You're busy, you're looking for votes, and we are there with our cameras trying to tell your story. So it was gracious of her to allow us, to just be in her space from breakfast, when she's in the kitchen, when she's campaigning. I mean, we were on her face. So I would like to thank her very, very much. And then the other person in the room is Flavan Diesel. She's here recording. She was the brain behind Filamu Dada. And then, of course, supported by Media Focus on Africa, who believed in her story. And I just want to tell you guys that this was a woman-woven kind of, journey, because the initiator of the idea was a woman who was then supported by the He for She's, MFA. And then DocuBox gave us our mentors, Zipi Kimundu and Lydia Matata, who we would like to appreciate so much. And then after the production phase, of course, we had the post-production, which was supported by Frankie, Africa Post Office, for those of you who know her, a female as well. So, and to my fellow Filamudada girls in the room, we appreciate you so much. We knew how hard we worked for this. And to our cinematographer as well, Evans Dims, we cannot forget to thank him. And our other editors, we had Tony, we had Ali. So it was a journey, guys. And honestly, this is humbling. And thank you so much. God bless.
Cinematography under Filamu Dada Films category. The nominees are Cheptikonyol.
Gentlemen, we are at 20 minutes past 8 a.m. So we are doing amazing, almost halfway through our second hour, and I am not alone in studio, because what you have just watched is the work of Omera the comedian. Mimi ana sikujua aliingia film our very own making, and like I said, this is not the first time he was here. When was the last time you were here, Omera?
I think ilikuwa 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Yeah. That's a while. that's a long time. I'm very glad that we kept tabs, and I'm happy that you are back here once again. Yes. That was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, were you just starting out?
I think I was just starting out. I was just 7 months old.
Yes.
In film independently.
Yes. Yeah. Now you are 4 years, 7 months. So headed into the 5th year.
Kweli.
I love that. Yes. Like that. Let's recap kidogo, because 4 years is a while. Some of you might not have been here at the time. Just tell us, Omera comedian ni nani? Anafanyanga nini? Omera Kenyan comedian.
Yes, I'm a Omera Kenyan comedian. I'm a filmmaker.
Yes.
A producer. I do so many things in marketing world, voiceover.
Yes.
And also I do short comedies and also long movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
That means you have added some hats since we last met.
Yes, tumeongeza mambo mengi.
I like that. Omera, what got you into comedy or into filmmaking?
Mjui kitu ni kama kipaji, ni kama mwito. You just found yourself, you want to do it naturally.
Yes.
Na ukijaribu kuinyamazia hata utakuwa mtu tena, because it is just inbuilt. Ni kitu ulizaliwa nayo. Inakuja tu enyewe.
Yes. So when you first started, wakati ulianza, what was the goal? What was the dream? Uliona ukikuja this far, ama you were like, what exactly was the goal?
My goal was to change Kenyan film. I wanted Kenyan film to be better like Nigerian movies. Because I used to love Nigerian movies when I was young. Sikuwa napenda football. I used to see Niger doing well in 2004, 2002.
Yes.
So I said one day we must make Kenya like Nigeria.
Exactly.
So that was my main dream. So I started in 2018. And this far we have come.
Exactly. Yeah. So 2018 up to now, this is 2024. That's a long time. How has that been? Just in brief, how have those 4-5 years been?
It's been nice and challenges. You know, when you're starting something, a lot of challenges. Because you might find when I was starting, I was not even a producer. Because to do film like Nigeria, you must master something called even visual effects, and you must be a producer so that your film can be the best thing ever.
Yes.
So I think I'm far because I'm now a producer. I've produced like 80 films, 80 to 90 movies.
Yes.
And I've ventured also into digital marketing and production.
Yes.
Yeah, means we are moving.
Yes.
But the dream for making Kenyan film great, no. I'm coming to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you feel like there is still a lot that can be done.
There's still a lot, bado.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go back kidogo. 80 to 90 movies. Those are many. Yes. Wow. So are these people like, do you have a production company that you work with?
When I started, I used to work with a production company called CNV Native. Yeah, and that's where also when they started teaching production, I learned there for 2.5 years. Yeah, to be a full-time producer.
Yeah. Yes.
But right now we're independent, but we also help one another with CNV Native production.
Yes. Yeah. So now independently, what company do you head doing production?
In production, I'm working with Omera Adverts Africa. Omera just come from the word Omera. Now Omera Adverts Africa.
Yes.
But right now we have involved in printing. Now it's Omera Adverts and Printing Africa.
Yes.
Yes.
At what point, najua tumeongea kuhusu iyo printing, at what point did you decide, okay, mnataka kuingia kwa printing, or what pushed you towards printing?
What pushed me towards printing? Because I was designing several graphic designs. Now people are asking, can you print for me this?
Yeah.
Now ili tulazimisha tuanze printing.
Yes.
Because nikidesign kitu inabidi to print.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you first and foremost you started with just designs, and you are making designs for different people, for several people, and then you decided, okay, printing can actually also work. How is that going? How is printing business going?
Printing business is good because once you're a designer, it is very easy to print.
Yes.
Instantly. Because I told you back, I'm full-time producer now.
Yes.
Mastered graphic designs and full-time video production.
Yes.
Yeah, and visual effects. Means we are independent. We design, we print instantly.
Yes. So that means it is easy because you're already a designer. So you're not struggling with, okay, so we need to get a designer to make our designs so we can print them.
It is very easy. We design something good.
Yes.
Si hata kusomea designing, but with talent, tuna design kitu ambayo inaonekana.
Yes. Yeah. And actually it becomes a good thing.
Sana.
Yes, so I like that. You mentioned in the last question that kuna challenges hapa na pale. Because I want you to talk to a content creator. Let's even give them that name. Whether you're in film production, ama movies production, ama printing. What are some of the things they really need to know? Kwa ground, how does it look like?
Kwa ground ni ngumu because sijui niseme Kenya kuna mtu akitari kusupport mwenzake afike penye hako kwa haraka. So you need to be alone and push because hakuna mtu atakuja kusaidia. Then vile nilisema 4 years ago, hii kitu ukianza kuwa content creator, mambo ya pesa weka kando. Pesa itakuwa inajileta tu wenyewe in future.
Yes.
Yes.
So you do your good work, wacha pesa zitakufuata.
Do your work, then money will come. But usanii inahitaji consistency. Wana wakati nilipotelea Omera Adverts Africa kuna film mingi sijatoa, so dream yangu ya film ijafika vizuri Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is keeping you from kutoa hizo movies?
Right now Omera Adverts Africa ndilikuwa inaanza, so ilikuwa na mambo mengi. Pia kitu kianza iko na challenges. So kama mimi Omera sasa mwenyewe kuna mambo mengi linishika, so sijatoa movie mingi vile niko na ndoto kama hiyo.
Yes.
Sijatimiza vizuri.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, but you're still feeling like you're in the works for Omera Adverts Africa. Unasonga mbele, unasikia kama there is a forward movement.
Tuko na forward movement kubwa sana because the brand I've built like Omera Adverts Africa, kama CEO, I will make sure as long as I live ita run na itafika mbali.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, and then apart from that, ukifanya 3D printing, ukifanya digital adverts, you got into voice adverts. Yes, so I was asking him before we started, voice adverts, how did you bump into it? How did you, okay, maybe this voice could do some good adverts?
Well, nikianza acting, sikuwa najua naweza fanya vizuri in voice. The first advert I got, I just started kujaribu voice over. Unaona advert mingi ziko na voice. Let me try.
Yeah.
Nilijaribu lakini niliona kitu kumbe naweza. Hata mimi sikuwa jua commercial kwamba I can do good voices, of which side tumefanya over 300 voices for companies. It means kama singekuwa nafanya vizuri watu kama hao wanga recommend.
Kweli.
Yeah.
Yes, a question on that. Umesema pesa inajileta. Wewe ukifanya kazi vizuri kwa digital content creation, pesa inajileta. So where do you get your adverts from? Where do you get your job adverts from?
Adverts hii wacha niseme inakuja yenyewe because kama zimesambaa niko na relationship ya kusupport zinakuja tu yenyewe sahi. Let me say like that.
Yes.
Zinakuja yenyewe.
So is it referrals ama is it mtu aliona kazi yako mahali they're thinking okay this guy could do me a good job?
Referrals ndio sasa ni mingi zaidi. Referrals ndio mingi. Because I've done like 400 adverts means niko na clients 400.
Yes.
Niki maintain good relationship with them watan refer tukiendanga hivyo tu.
So most of it is referral.
Yeah, referrals. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's go to still at the Omera Adverts Africa. Do you have digital platforms where you make your work and post your work where people can actually go refer?
Yes. YouTube ni Omera Kenyan Comedian. Facebook Omera Kenyan Comedian bado. Then now we have the page for Omera Adverts Africa. Yeah, independently.
Yes, so independently. So that's somewhere someone can go and actually take a look and see the work that you're doing.
Yes.
So Omera Adverts Africa. It's a Facebook page?
It's a Facebook page, yeah.
Yes, so guys, Omera Adverts Africa, the one on your screen, hapo on Facebook, and then there's a WhatsApp number right there. So just to know, kitaka works za Omera, you know where you can get him. Okay, let's jump a bit from adverts to your career in radio. How did that happen?
Career in radio.
Yes.
Kuna radio in Nyanza called Radio Watch Maber. Tumesika Nyanza mzima part of Rift Valley na Western 88.3 FM. I think right now walinipea position ya kuhold head of sales. Means napanga sales pia I do general voice over. Like example, umedo inje wechimanyie ne Radio Watch Maber. Just zile voice za radio.
Yes.
And then all voices I do in the radio.
Yes.
I'm head of sales.
Yes.
So means hiyo ni tumefika somewhere pia in terms of voice. Kama
yes, true.
Radio wananipea privilege ya kuwa head of sales na general voice over.
Yes.
And I'm happy for that.
Exactly. Congratulations. A big congratulations for that. Take me through your head of sales. What does your job description look like? Like what is your day-to-day ukiwa head of sales?
Nikiwa head of sales ni kupanga kazi in terms of strategy. Juu marketing ukitaka kurun lazima upange strategy. Tutaprint vitu fulani, tutaenda hii soko, tutafanya hii field, tumepanga sales team namna gani. Pia na communicate na clients instantly.
Yeah.
Then on the ground client really challenge. Umesikia hapo nimesema nimefanya over 400 adverts. Means hata kuja na advertisement gani utakuta niko na experience yake.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to challenge all customers wanakuja kwa radio.
Yes. Yeah. So whatever niche it is that they are dealing with, you have most probably dealt with it before.
Them, na mimi najua mstari nafaa kuweka hapo.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, that is amazing. That means you're making great steps in the industry. In the 4 years mtu akiangalia your portfolio anaona yenyewe there is something that you are doing. With extension, does that mean there are other people that you're collaborating with? Do you have employees within Omera Adverts Africa especially? Are you bringing other people on board for the brand?
In this world you cannot work alone.
Yes.
Even Jesus need men.
Yes.
Men need men to survive or to move forward.
Yes.
I have a team. I have a team. Right now we are like 7 people. Some working on the graphics. Some working on 3Ds, and also we are partnered with some studios because we cannot work alone. Yeah,
so
but Adverts Africa is independent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but that means you're also working with some people. Could you give them a shout out? I know wako like Omera is on TV today. He better.
CNV native uko sawa. You have been supporting since tulianza 6 years ago. George, mtu wangu wa IT. Na Caro unafanya vizuri sana. I really appreciate you. Na what in my team.
Exactly. Yes, you guys are many. So in case he forgot to mention your name, don't stone him after this.
Kuna moja Swisau.
Yes.
One of my biggest partner in printing. Inaitwa Peck Branding Limited. Wako Juja. Yeah, moja ukianza kitu lazima unakuwa kama mtu mkono kidogo, but walionyesha njia vizuri sana. So I'm happy.
Exactly. Yeah. Also that brings me to the next question. Where are you located physically? Because I know someone can find you on Facebook, but physically do you have any physical offices or where do you work from?
Yes, right now tuko located hapo Tao. Yeah, information house. Ukifika information house, just you can just call the number, then tutakupick. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you can be able to follow him up even on his physical locations. Ndio unajua tukifanya kazi tukiprint how is transport. Question for the physical, let's say like the printing that you do, where, how far do you deliver?
We deliver countrywide, depending on the agreement. Yeah, countrywide.
Yeah, so everywhere, anywhere in the country, whether you're in Mombasa, as long as you are in the country. Is that at a fee or for free?
Delivery sahi, ni kuelewana tu, but within Nairobi is free delivery.
Yes. Yeah. So if you're within Nairobi, good for you. You are one of the lucky ones. But if you're away from Nairobi, you also understand that transport cost is not exactly the easiest thing. So mta kubaliana, mta agree. What kind of 3D printing do you do? Like ni kwa vijiko, kwa sahani, kwa t-shirt, anything can be printed.
Sasa tunafanya large printing ya businesses na light boxes. Pia ukitaka ya chapa kwa kitabu, kikombe, anything.
Yes.
Anything inaweza chapa printing. But sasa tumeventure sana on the 3D and light box for banners for businesses.
Yes.
Yeah, yeye nafanya mingi. But ukileta ikombe ama kijiko pia tuna print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting a good question. Yeah. If someone were to get into advertising through content creation, like what would be your advice to them? Do they shadow someone? Do they, apprentice somewhere? Do they start their own thing? Like, mtu mwenye ako like, okay, I think I would like to get into this advertising business. What would be your advice to them?
Advertising business, number one, naweza advice. Kuna jambo hili dunia hii. Isaidha uende shule usome kitu ama uwe umezaliwa nayo kitu naturally.
Yeah.
Advert inahitaji skills kubwa sana. Because leta ni designie kitu kama pasta na ubiru mara kwa mawingu nini. I have to create that thing in my mind instantly. Then ndio ni design, then ndio to print. So inahitaji skills kubwa. But anybody can involve in that. What I found, kila mtu hawezi ingilia ni ile voice. Ile voice ni art.
Yes.
Si kila mtu nadhani anaweza ingilia. Yeah.
Okay, so you need to find your own way. You need to find your niche. Are you planning on any training programs? Because I feel like you've gone through this. You kind of know the ins and outs. So yes, for someone who wants to get into an advertising through content creation, even if it is not just now, is it part of your plans to be able to actually start training?
Pengine soon, because hii ndio tunajenga Omera Adverts Africa na Omera Kenya nakwambia tunajijenga. Kuna vitu mingi bado tunahitaji tu independent. So soon, pengine tutaanza training school, like a college.
Yeah.
We can train actors, pia ICT, graphic design. So hiyo pengine in future and
in the future somewhere. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Let's go back to movie production kidogo. Yeah. So the movies that you produce, the films, the short ones, the long ones, are these your ideas that you're creating, or someone comes with an idea and they're like, Omera is a production, I need you to come in here and help me produce this?
I have to tell public this because even health-wise I'm not okay right now because in my spirit, I get like hundreds of movies.
Yes.
I don't produce them because I'm busy building Omera Adverts Africa. I may need just people on board to advise my content, but the content I have, I can even shoot movie in the next 100 years without stopping, without asking content, without copying. Niliona movie wacha ni copy hii.
Yes.
I have inbuilt content zile niko nazo. Yeah.
Naturally gifted.
Ziko mingi sana.
Yes. Yeah. So that means all the movies that you've produced are your own ideas.
My own ideas. Chenye nafanya leta on table mnaona hii aje. Can you see hii iko aje?
Yes.
But I create movie naturally instantly.
Yes. Yeah. So you may advise, people may advise on your content, but really it's naturally from you.
Yes, true.
Yes, okay. So also that means if you're producing movies, that means you're also working with a lot of actors, a lot of actresses. How do you source for them? Do you call for auditions? As you write, you're like, okay, this part fits a certain person. How do you go about it? How do you go about sourcing your talent for the movies and the films?
Yes, so nimekaribisha kila mtu because I want to focus on building young people ambao wajui waanze wapi, anaanza act aje. I want to build them. So some of them do approach me. Nataka ku act na wewe, nataka unifunze hii. I do welcome them. Pia kuna watu kutoka naye kitambo. We have walked throughout the way. So we are pushing just together.
Yes.
But nimekaribisha kila mtu, anybody ukitaka kufanya kazi na mimi, you are most welcome. Be it in advert, be it in acting. Nimekaribisha kila mtu.
Exactly. Yeah. So all of you are welcome. So if you've been looking for somewhere, you know, to start out, whether it is in acting or in film or adverts, Omera is your guy. Omera Adverts Africa. Give it the next 5 years. Unataka ikuwe wapi?
Omera Adverts Africa in the next 5 years, I think natamani tuwe tumevuka border in terms of 3D and voice acting. Nataka niwe nimeshika at least East Africa kidogo. Then in terms of printing, machines ni bei kali sana.
Yeah.
Live printing inaanza from 400,000, kidogo printing from 150k. So to build it ili nifike ile market penye walinitangulia kwa hii soko wamefika. Yeah, nataka hata mimi nifike hapo in the next 5 years. But in terms of movies, I promise my people nita produce movie vile inawezekana. This year.
Yes.
Yeah, hizo miaka zinakuja.
Exactly. So now that where are your movies found before I ask the next question?
Movies zangu zote ziko kwa Omera Kenyan Comedian. Those are my pages.
Yes, so Omera Kenyan Comedian. Yeah. So then another thing, it feels like you're getting more into film, into adverts. Are you still doing comedy?
Nafanya zote. Kwa vile nilipotea kidogo sikuwa consistent kama kitambo because ndio tulikuwa tunajenga Omera Adverts Africa. So ilihitaji time yangu mingi sana. But right now I feel ni kama nime set up kila kitu Omera Adverts Africa iko ready. Kazi inaingia hivi, tumeprint, kama ni voice nimefanya, nimepea vijana, nimesupervise, kama editing iko sawa. So I'm happy for that. Right now nataka kuingia kwa content.
Yes.
Ile sasa sana kabisa because content imejaa kwa spirit yangu and I have to produce them. Then dunia hii pia kumbuka time yetu ni limited.
Yes.
Sitakaa dunia hii milele. I have to do them. Nimalize safari yangu.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we are expecting more comedy from Omera, the Kenyan comedian.
Itakuwa mingi sana.
Yes. Yeah. All right, so look out for him because there's going, like he has said, he's promised us a lot of comedy, a lot of other movies, so stick around. Nataka utukumbushe your social media handles. In category, where can we find your work? The YouTube one, anyone who would like to reach out for work purposes, ama just to enjoy your content, to know where they can find you.
Yeah, kwa digital ama internet niko Facebook Omera Kenyan Comedian, YouTube pia Omera Kenyan Comedian hapo, mnaweza subscribe then you can check out my content. But ukienda kwa Facebook page utangalia Omera Adverts Africa.
Yes.
Hapo kuna email, kuna website, pia kuna namba ya kazi. I can advise you on anything, just call.
Exactly.
Yeah, pia wale vijana wangependa kuwork na mimi, karibuni sana.
Exactly. So yeah, so if you would like I've said, if you're looking for an entrance into adverts, into movies, Omera Comedian is the person that you might need. You know, you might need to see. One final words to young people. We are going to be talking about teenage pregnancies in our next conversation. Yes. But I want you to comment on young people, boys and girls in general. Mwenye tu mtu wako, just remember yourself before you started Omera Comedy. I want you to see yourself those 7 months before you came for the interview.
Yes, yes.
Someone who is there, what would be your word to them?
Yes, my word, I think muliniona hapa 4 years ago, nilisema mimi nafanya kazi, pesa tajileta. Indeed, sasa nimebuild brand ile niko sure nikifanya kazi kwa bidii nitaikula maisha yangu yote.
Yes.
So kitu mtu akianza ukiwa content creator, ama unataka kuanza kazi ya usanii ama printing ama anything.
Yes.
Just work for it. Consistency nitaleta uanze kupata mapato kupitia content yako. Haikuwa kazi rahisi. It's hard work na consistency. Just push. Tuseme mjua mtu kianza anasema wacha nitafute comedian mkubwa ani support ama nini. Nilirealize watu barikiwa na njia tofauti tofauti. Just be your own brand. Kuja unique way. Because right now si kubrag, but kuna comedian sahi unaweza niweka na yeye mfanye voice over ya hii advert. Utakuwa nitamlemea. Lakini kuna kitu fulani kwa industry amenilemea. So watu wameitwa kwa njia tofauti tofauti. You can't be somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to dilute any of those words. I am hoping to see you here much sooner, not 4 years from now. I'm hoping to see you a bit sooner. Yes, but thank you so much for gracing our studios today. We are happy to have you. Like you have had consistency. I think that is what is sticking out for me. If you do what you do consistently, eventually it's gonna give in. You know, eventually it's gonna cave. So if you can do it consistently as you can. Omera, thank you so much for being here today. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Kuna mahali nataka kutuma salamu before you go. I know you have a wife and a kid. Kama utawasalimia hapa, I don't know where else you will. So please tuma salamu before we wrap up.
Nataka kusalimia kila mtu wale wananisupport kwa industry na pia normal life. I want to appreciate all the companies wale wamepartner na mimi na wananisupport. Wakina Konyango, Fabricators, wakina Ganatra, JCB na kila mtu, taja wote, wanakuanga wengi sana. Production team na pia watu nafanya nao kazi. Na wasalimia na pia na appreciate. Keep supporting Omera.Africa na pia Omera Comedian. Pia ni kama nimeoa na ni kama sijaoa lakini it's like nimeoa na pia ni kama sijaoa. So nikapo katikati. Yeah.
So hizo salamu zimfikie popote alipo.
Kama yuko nimemsalimia sana na Mungu ambariki.
Amen. Thank you sana Omera. We are happy to have you. It has been an honor and a pleasure. I guess umesikia ukijituma itajipa. All right? So thank you for keeping it KUTV Kenya. We are at 44 minutes, which means that we are wrapping up our second hour, but not to worry because we are going for a break. But when we come back, we are majorly going to be having the conversation on teenage pregnancies in Kenya. And we've said that is a conversation all of us, if there's going to be any call to action, if there's going to be any improvement, all of us need to be hands on deck. So send in your questions, your comments on or your thoughts on teenage pregnancies in Kenya. Like I said, we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. So drop me your comment and I'm going to be getting to it on our next conversation. But right about now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to go for a break. I'll see you in a few on the other side of the break.
Meet the master of welding and fabrication. Are you looking forward to build new home? Steel fabrication, steel work? Think of Konyango Fabricators Limited. With over 20 years of experience, we have achieved completion in industrial parks, homes, and water tank projects. We are specialized in modern ultra-profile steel gates, steel windows, modern gates, sliding gates and windows, staircases, balconies, glass frame, French windows, cladded steel modern doors, carport seats, general fabrication. Welcome to B-Joy Homes. We are happy to introduce you to our latest listing in Mutwapa. The stylish Airbnb offers a perfect blend.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that you are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called Security Breach Detector and Can is familiarized. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosive.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Access to knowledge. Solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Ni kaunti maarufu kwa kuzalisha maziwa na ukuzaji wa majani chai. Pia, serikali ya kaunti inawahimiza wakulima kukumbatia mitindo mingine ya kilimo kuzidisha mapato.
Kama kuna kikundi moja inafanya biashara ya kuuza kuku, hao pia tumewafadhili kuwafunza jinsi ya kuhandle zile kuku kwa sababu wanaleta kwa wingi.
Haya yote tunakuletea katika Boresha Kilimo, toleo la kaunti ya Bomet.
Kilimo ni nguzo kubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa.
Conversation. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are at 51 minutes past 8 a.m. and I've talked about this conversation for a bit because it is as interesting as it is intriguing and worrying at the same time. But I am not alone in studio. I'm joined by two brilliant gentlemen that are going to be helping me disseminate the state of teenage pregnancies in this country as of now. So I just want them to say hello and we jump right into the conversation because we definitely have a lot to talk about. Let's start with Robert. Just say hello. This is your camera.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Robert Waweru.
Yes, Robert.
I work with the Kenya Human Rights Commission.
Yes.
As a program advisor for including other things, sexual and reproductive health and rights.
Yes. All right. It's a pleasure to have you here. Most welcome. Doc.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Mwiruri Joseph. I'm a medical doctor by profession. I work at Thika Level 5.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are most welcome. Question, general doctor or any specific?
At the moment, I'm a general doctor.
You're a general doctor.
General practitioner.
Yes, general practitioner.
Right.
We are happy. We are happy to have you here. It's an honor and a pleasure. I think let's start from the top, from Robert. And I want to know, as a programs advisor, what is your JD at KHRC?
Yeah, so my
what
job,
does your work involve?
Yeah, it entails advocating for human rights, all aspects of human rights.
Yes.
But specifically with regard to sexual reproductive health and rights, is calling for those people who are charged with the mandate of making sure that teenage girls
Yes.
do not, get pregnant, and they are failed, and that's why we came in with the red card campaign.
Yes.
And when you look at the red card campaign, we red carded 20 governors
Yes.
and the CS for health. The reason for that is that we looked at the statistics, and the statistics that we used are from the KDHS, the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey, that was released by the National Bureau of Statistics last year. So we had 2 categories of governors that we red carded. So the first category, we looked at the counties that have the highest numbers in terms of teenage pregnancies. And here we had like Nairobi, Kakamega, and Bungoma. So we had 10. And then we also looked at the counties that had the highest percentages. So because when you look at the statistics, you find that their counties, mostly like small marginalized counties, they have very high percentages. Like for example, Samburu was leading at 50%, but when you look at their numbers, it's not a lot.
Yes, because the community itself is not huge.
Yes, it's not huge. So we decided to go with those 2 categories. So counties the 10 counties that led in terms of absolute numbers, and then the 10 counties that had the highest percentages.
Yes.
This is when you look at the vis-a-vis their population. So the reason why we went with those governors is because, as you know, the provision of health services is a default function.
Yes.
So it's up to county governors to make sure that they are put in place systems and mechanisms to prevent these teenage pregnancies.
Yes.
But also health policy is a function of national government.
It's a function of the national government.
So it's a shared function.
Yes.
It's shared between the national government and the county. So the national government is in charge of developing policy.
Yes.
And then now the counties are in charge of
implementation of the policies.
Yes. So both levels of government have actually failed us, and that's why you see the very big statistics of the teenage pregnancies that we continue to see each new day.
Exactly.
Yes.
So both we are coming from a point of where both the policy makers and the policy implementers have failed.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk to Doc kidogo, but I want to come back to that. But Doc, on a week of you just being a general doctor, how many of these cases do you encounter? Let's say a month. Let's give you a month because I believe weeks are different.
Yeah.
But yes, in a month, how many cases and do you think they are worth of some attention?
I think from my experience, I wouldn't be very specific in terms of how many cases per week or per month, but they're quite frequent. You might get maybe like you might get 3 cases in a month.
Yes.
That's for where I work from, like Pika level 5.
Yes.
You might get 1, you might get 5, but generally when you look at the records, you realize the numbers are actually high.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't give a specific number because we don't have that specific data for the specific hospitals like where I work from.
Yes.
But personally, from my experience, we would end more than 1 week kama hujaona one or 2 cases of teenage pregnancies.
So, paint me a picture. What do these cases look like? Are they confused girls? Like, paint me a picture. Is it someone who knows what they want to do in the first place, or they come confused in the hospital, they don't know what to do, so you're left to sort of deal with the situation?
So usually most of them, how they present,
yes,
they'll say I'm married.
Yes.
They come with someone like an older person. They will report to have been married. You get, but then upon further inquiry, when now the partner is not around, you actually realize they're not married. It was just to cover up the whole process.
Exactly.
So you meet someone who is under duress, under stress, and the nature of pregnancy is quite intensive, both physiologically and also to the mental health, financially, socially. And number 2, in terms of psychological support and clinical support, when you compare the support that teenage pregnancies get, teenage pregnant women get, compared to the older women, it's totally different. So you'll meet someone who is stigmatized. First of all, everyone around you is judging you because you're pregnant.
Exactly. So do you think that is why they lie in the first place?
Yeah, so they tend to lie.
Yes.
They say, yeah, I'm actually is my partner.
Yeah.
but then upon further inquiry and trying to create that conducive environment for them, you actually realize they're not partners.
Exactly. That they were just a cover-up.
Yeah.
Ooh, so from a point of at a hospital, if these girls, because we also realize that not many of the girls actually get to go to hospitals, legit hospitals, but from where you're standing, from these girls that actually find the courage somehow, even if it is amidst lies, to come to the hospital. How do you think we can better that state, that environment for them? That if someone is courageous enough to get to Thika level 5, how can we better the environment for them and just make sure that they are taken care of?
Yeah, I think it needs intentional surveillance. You know, in terms of antenatal surveillance, perinatal and postnatal surveillance.
Yes.
Because like I've said, these people are under so much duress. So we have that responsibility to create a conducive environment for them. So what we need is just an informed workforce who are intentional about the nature of care that they're going to give. Remember, most teenagers, when they get pregnant, they don't always go to hospital.
Yes.
Actually, globally, half of the teenage pregnancies always end up in unsafe abortions.
Yes.
So by the time they are gathering the courage to come to a hospital setup, then you can almost tell they've already made that courageous step.
Yes.
So then it's our responsibility as healthcare workers to give them the necessary support they deserve. It's a very difficult period usually, because even the nature of their pregnancy, most of them don't always end up giving birth in the normal way.
Yes.
They always end up doing cesarean sections.
Yes.
Because they're not mature enough. The bones are not mature enough for them to push the baby.
Yes.
You get? So it's a difficult process for them, and they need a lot of psychological support.
Yes. So I'm getting proactive surveillance from all the stages, from the pre to the post pregnancy. That whole process needs a lot of vigilantes, for lack of a better word.
Yes.
Vigilance, a lot of vigilance just throughout the process.
Including
yes.
Postpartum contraception.
Yes.
Because some of them they always end up coming back with the second pregnancy.
With the second pregnancy.
Yeah. So you have to it's a wholesome approach.
Yes. So wait, why is that specific tendency of that if someone has a teenage pregnancy, there is quite a chance that they are going to have a second baby not very far away from their first baby?
Yeah, I think it's because we're not addressing the root cause of the teenage pregnancies. Yeah, we need to go back to the drawing board.
Yes.
And understand why are we having these increasing numbers of teenage pregnancies?
Yes, to start
so that we address the issues from the root cause.
From the root
Most teenagers don't have information about birth control, about contraception. They don't have that information. Most of them are stigmatized. They cannot access reproductive health services. So they end up repeating the same mistakes over and over again.
So then let's get back to Robert and ask that very question. What is the root of these issues? Like, what is causing this whole crisis? I know there are a number of factors, but take us through, because I know when you were taking through your numbers and your percentages, there had to be some common factors. Like, why is this, the underlying common factors? What is causing these high numbers of teenage pregnancy?
Yeah, so as you rightly said, there are a number of factors that that contribute to this crisis that as we see it. One of the biggest causes is of course, as Doc has said, is lack of information, because a lot of these teenage pregnancies can actually be prevented if people if teenagers actually access the right sexual information, and this is basically comprehensive sexuality education. We know that this is something that is not taught in schools. There have been attempts to teach our young children about basic sexual information, but there has been push and pull, so it has not been implemented. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we see, because if only as a society we can be willing to be open about and teach our children about some of these issues, all these issues we can be able to deal with it.
Actually, avoid instead of
we can avoid instead because it's something that is very avoidable. But of course now there are other challenges. There are issues of poverty in most places.
Just before you go to the other challenges, do you think part of the reason why we don't have enough information is because there is certain sort of stigma, even with parents, even with teachers? Like, do we have honest, straightforward conversations?
No, we don't, and that's why I'm saying it's a part of the problem, because also parents also have a role to play, because you realize that they also don't have these conversations with their children.
Yeah.
I mean, also this information is not being given in schools.
Yes.
So now these teenagers are actually just left to their own devices. Like they have to, you have to get this information from sources that are not very credible.
Yes.
I mean, just having a discussion with Doc, and he was telling me, like, you'll find that they're getting their information from social media, from TikTok and from Instagram. And not all information that is on TikTok or Instagram
is actually credible.
Is credible information. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's one of the biggest challenge. So one of the things that we're actually calling for is that we need to have comprehensive sexuality education in our schools.
Exactly.
Yes.
So is this part of what the Red Card Insurance was asking for? That these governors can actually be able to put in place systems where we have these conversations in schools, where we have this conversation in public places, public hospitals, and in any public areas, in any form of gathering that we can be able to get. Is this part, like, what is the Red Card Insurance asking the governors to do?
So basically the Red Card campaign is a call to accountability for people who are in public office, and specifically the governors, because they are in charge of providing healthcare services at those levels, from level 5, I think, going down, right? So as the doctor has explained, I mean, when you go to these hospitals, you find that in as much as they want to access some of this information, they are not able to access because of a number of reasons.
Yes.
But of course, the governors are just one aspect of it. I mean, there are other policy makers and policy implementers who have also failed. And that's why we even called out, for example, somebody like Governor Lusaka.
Yes.
He had recently said that any teenage girl who gets pregnant, they should not be allowed to go back to school.
Yes.
Which is a violation of many rights, including the right to education.
Human rights. Just in general.
Yes, in general. So we are also calling, actually, we are even calling upon the Ministry of Education to make sure that they have put in place mechanisms to ensure that every child, every teenager who has gotten pregnant, they are able to resume their studies normally without any form of stigma or any form of discrimination, because that's also one of the things that is preventing these girls from going back to school. And now when you don't go back to school,
chances of second pregnancies,
because
now even in terms of your time.
Exactly.
Exactly. So do you think such comments, I want to go back to that comment before I go to Doc, such comments by governors in power is just pointing, to the greater issues that even them themselves might lack understanding around this whole conversation?
Exactly. I mean, it's showing where the problem is, because you can imagine this is somebody who is in charge of providing a whole county.
Yes.
And they can stand up and say such a thing.
Yes.
It shows probably a lack of understanding of the problem. Because as I said, these are not discussions that are had. I mean, people don't talk about these things. So even the leaders themselves, in as much as we want to call them to account, they also need to take their time to acquaint themselves with some of these issues, because these are leadership issues. I mean, when you're in a county where 500 teenage girls are getting pregnant every day, it's actually a health crisis even in that county. Because the health infrastructure will be stretched.
Yes.
Because as doctors are saying, some of these girls will try to procure
unsafe abortion.
Of course, and they will go to the quacks first, and then when it's complicated now, they have developed complications, they now come to public hospitals.
Yes.
So it costs money to treat them.
Exactly.
So it's an issue of also looking at it from that perspective, not just looking at it, these are girls, they need than to go home and become mothers.
Yes. So this is also becoming a financial issue, which means sort of governors plus all of their governance to senators, to MPs, to MCAs, they should be concerned, because if we are looking at the money consumption that teenage pregnancies is causing, it's also a big deal. Yeah, so, and like we said, if you're in a position of power, it's sort of your job to acquaint yourself. I like that, the term that you've used there. To acquaint yourself with the issues that are affecting your very people. Doc, I want you to take us through other factors that may cause, other factors that are leading to teenage pregnancies. Of course, apart from a lack of information, which I think that we have dealt with. But I think we can all agree that the lack of information is starting from the very top and trickling to the bottom.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yes, and it is a sad state of
I once had another political individual make a comment in a public rally that teenage girls are getting pregnant because of immorality in the society. And of course, you can imagine the stigma that is going around when a prominent person makes such a statement on national television. So it becomes quite chaotic. Another factor that is very important to talk about is poverty. I think he mentioned it.
Yes, he did.
People who come from low socioeconomic places are at a higher risk of getting teenage pregnancies. And for obvious reasons. You know, girls have needs. And one of the needs are menstruation hygiene needs. It's not easy to get pads
access to
randomly anywhere. And although it's a work in progress, we haven't gotten to that point where these products are freely available to our teenagers. So because of poverty, they are at a higher risk of being taken advantage of. So you see people they are likely to engage in transactional sex. They are likely to be convinced by older men to engage in sexual activity in exchange for money, to be able to get some of these sanitary towels. And of course, you know, when you're engaging in sexual contact with someone who is older than you, way older than you, you lose the autonomy to make decisions in terms of maybe it's contraceptives you want to use, or however you might think it would work for you becomes difficult for you because you lack that autonomy because of the power differences.
Because of the power differences.
So that's a very common. Another common aspect in our country that I've noted is we still have child marriages around. People might not, especially marginalized counties. Child marriage is still, I think they're calling emancipated minors. The minors who are already married, they get married at a very young age. And of course, they still belong in this category because of the risk factors that we've talked about.
In this country, those counties have leaderships, have governors in place, have people who actually need to be part and parcel. You know, if there's anybody who's going to lead, who is supposed to be leading, you know, these campaigns and all these activities around, it's supposed to be the leadership from those marginalized communities. I heard someone say, of course, this one was not even on teenage pregnancies, but they were speaking on the bandits that are found again on those marginalized counties, and they were saying if you want to stop banditry in this country, the best way to do it is through education. Because we might be out here saying why are people stealing each other's kettles and everything, but without information, without education, you can tell that you cannot bring understanding to that person without sort of bringing them into the light of information and education in general. So I think that plays the same, because a parent that is forcing their kid to get into a child marriage, there's already a very big issue there. There's a very big issue with the understanding. There's a very big issue with the way they perceive. So I think we also need, especially governors from now, the higher percentage communities need to be held accountable.
Because of when you look at the statistics from the KDHS and even other statistics that have been collected, you will see the difference in the levels of education and the rate of teenage pregnancies. Is very, very high with people with low education. Is very low with people with high education. So education is one of the factors that is contributing. But I think also to just add one point, we are talking about teenagers here who are between 10 to 19. So these are teenagers who cannot consent to any sexual
to begin with.
Yes, to begin with. So already in situations like the doctor has explained, where you find it's an older person with a child, this is rape actually.
Yes.
Because teenagers cannot legally consent to sex. So one of the biggest problems that we have also seen is that there's a lack of accountability here, because these teenagers are not able to access justice.
Yes.
You find that they are in places where there are child marriages.
Yes.
And the society or the communities in that region treat this as a normal occurrence.
Exactly.
While it's actually illegal and unconstitutional.
And a crime.
And is actually a crime. Those people, they need to be processed through the criminal justice system.
Yes.
But you still find that also, because of our own culture, is that either they don't report these cases, and even in situations when they report, it doesn't this person is not for a number of reasons.
Yes.
Either they are told probably they don't have good evidence, or sometimes there's a lot of corruption in police, the police, or even in the judiciary, so these cases don't even proceed as it should be. But also we also have a problem in our community where they like solving these issues at the local level, in the kangaroo courts, without wanting to take these cases to go to court. So that's also cultural harmful cultural practices is also one of the leading factors in encouraging teenage pregnancy, especially in communities that still practice things like FGM, because they believe once you have done that, now you're a woman, you should be married.
Yes.
So these harmful cultural practices is also one of the leading
causes of teenage pregnancy, and it is a sad state of affairs, because to think that someone in political power, like Doc was saying, can say that this is immorality, but a scenario where a 14-year-old girl is with a 40-year-old man, that's a punishable crime. This is immorality that we can pick out and actually punish, instead of just making it look like a cloud that these people are immoral in this generation, like almost something that you cannot pinpoint to the exact problem. And I think this is where now red card campaign comes in. I want to ask something before I go to the repercussions, which I want Doc to handle. Apart from just pointing out governors, telling them they need to pull up their socks, they need to act upon it, what other activities are going on in the red card campaign?
So this is just the first step.
Yes.
As I have said, we want to pursue this fully to the next level, including so the first phase, we have started with the lack of access to information, and which is a major contributing factor. We also want to discuss lack of access to services and products. And lastly, we also want to discuss about lack of access to justice.
Yes.
And so we are starting with the people who should provide for the policy, and that's where we were and implementing the policy, and that's why we were started with the CS for health, as are the national government and the governors. And then we'll go to the next step, which will still target the persons who are responsible for making sure that teenagers can access the services and the products.
Yes.
And also now the people are also working in the criminal justice system to make sure
so
that
a question on that, on the second point, making sure that services and products are available. Like, for example, there was what was going on Twitter. So are you guys going to physically get these things running, ensure that products and services are available, or you're holding people that are in those capacities to be able to provide service?
No, we are holding the people who are in those capacities to be able to provide, because as a Kenya Human Rights Commission, we are a human rights organization. We advocate for human rights. We don't do service provisions or service delivery. So, but there are people who
you're in touch, exactly.
Yes, there are people who have the mandate and they have the resources to be able to do that, and because of one reason or the other,
they are
not being provided the way they should be provided.
Yes.
And it's also an issue of also our society, as Doctor has explained. So it's about creating the demand, so that
the people that are supposed to come in
to be able, because it's also, we have a problem of the people who are supposed to get these services, they are, because of various reasons like discrimination, stigma, they are not seeking those services.
Yes.
But also even the people on the supply side,
Yeah.
there are also many challenges that are making these people to, especially the teenagers,
Yes.
to be afraid to go and seek these services.
Exactly.
So we want to deal with both ends, so that we
both
can,
ends of the string,
yes,
exactly,
yes.
to make sure that the person that is supposed to seek help has been able to seek help,
Yes.
and the person supposed to provide the
is
help
able to
has
provide.
also, yes, because it is a wonder that in the year 2024, the one thing I've not understood is why we still do not have free sanitary towels. That is something that I have not yet understood, that there is no room in our billions worth of budget for free sanitary towels. That is honestly, in terms of services and products, that's something that I have not yet understood, and I hope that this campaign will sort of solve that issue, because it's been ongoing for far too long. I want Doc to talk to me on the repercussions health-wise of teenage pregnancies, because I know you have dealt with this firsthand. What are some of the repercussions that come with teenage pregnancies?
I think, first of all, we must understand that a teenager is not biologically fully mature for pregnancy. So imagine.
So a question would be,
Yeah.
what is the range in terms of years? At what age is someone termed, enough developed, fully developed?
Fully developed.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no specific age at say 18 years.
Yeah.
But statistics, according to statistics, people who get pregnant below the age of 19 years old are more prone to getting complications of obstetrics complications compared to the age group between 20 to 24 and then 20 to 39, 20 to 49.
Yes.
The chances keep increasing and then they start decreasing from
As
30
you go.
going up. Yes. So the tragedy is at the teenagehood, below 19 years old.
Yes.
So see, normally just a few weeks before onset of labor,
Yes.
the baby usually descends down the pelvis, the bones that ultimately converge around the birth canal.
Yes.
So the baby will descend down with the head facing down. All right.
Yes.
So that is before the onset of labor.
Yes.
All right. So in a mature adult woman,
Yes.
the pelvis is able to expand and open up the birth canal for the baby to come out.
Yes.
Now for teenagers,
Yes.
they're not well developed,
Yeah.
so they're not able to expand quite well.
Yeah.
The cervix cannot open, the entry to the birth canal cannot open adequately.
Yes.
You get, so that becomes most of the time they get what we call cephalopelvic disproportion. The head of the baby cannot fit through the outlet of the pelvis,
Yes.
so the baby can't come out.
Yes.
So they end up getting what we call poor progress of labor.
Yes.
Find that someone has been in labor for more than 20 hours.
Yes.
Just in labor, they cannot push the baby out.
Yes.
So that is why most of the time they always end up in cesarean section or other forms of assisted delivery.
Yes.
So that is one in terms of consequence of
Yes, of
but
teenage
also they are at a higher risk because of their physiology. Most of the time they are higher risk of developing complications such as hypertension in pregnancy. It's quite high among teenage mothers. So they have their blood pressure shoot up. It's a common condition in pregnant women, but now for teenagers it's quite high because of their physiology, the nature of their body. It's quite high, and high blood pressure has so many effects on the body, including the brain and the kidney.
Yes.
So they are at a higher, they stand at a higher risk of some of these complications. And when they give birth, they're also at a very high risk of getting what you call postpartum hemorrhage. They lose a lot of blood, so they end up getting into complications that results from acute loss of blood, and it's quite dire. If you don't manage promptly, the risk of it, one of the most common complications of pregnancy and that can lead to maternal mortality is postpartum hemorrhage. So you can imagine it's quite higher in teenage mothers, pregnant mothers. So that is one of them. It's quite common. I've seen quite a number.
So which means also a great number of them would end up losing their lives.
Yeah, it's possible.
Process.
Yeah. Yeah. So although now something I would give credit to our system in terms of maternal mortality, we've really tried to reduce it. So when it comes to management of acute complication, most of the hospitals are well equipped to manage.
Yes.
So we might not end up with getting a mortality or death but the consequences are dire.
Exactly.
You'll
And
be-
also the chances in
Yeah.
teenage
It's
pregnancies
quite
are also
higher.
higher.
Yes.
Which means it sort of also puts pressure on the medical expertise and the medical field in general.
Yeah, it's quite intense.
Exactly.
Actually, when you see a teenage mother, they're not just attended by one nurse.
Yes.
It's a lot because of the implications around it.
That are around
Yeah.
it.
Also, they tend to give birth to low birth weight baby.
Yes.
And their labor will come always prematurely,
Yeah.
most of them.
Yeah.
So usually in a normal person, will get from 38 weeks to around 40 weeks. Hapo katikati they're likely to start labor. For them, you'll get 32, 34. It's called premature labor.
Yes.
Preterm labor. There's a higher risk of that. So it's,
Yes.
unfortunately, they're predisposed to many health risks. Even
Exactly.
during pregnancy, there's an issue of maternal nutrition. They don't get good nutrition, they tend to get anemia. So they tend to get malnourished.
Yes.
And all these have an impact on the baby.
Yes.
So when give birth to a baby, most of them will grow with cognitive dysfunction, physical dysfunction, emotional dysfunction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say in terms of maternal complications,
Yes.
they're at higher risk.
They are at higher risk.
Yes.
And even the babies that are born are also
Also.
born into high chances
Yes.
of risk.
Yes.
So it seems like this doesn't get any better. Like from the time of conception in a teenage pregnancy,
It doesn't.
the chances of that entire lifetime just being always at risk
Yes.
is higher.
And then don't
almost
forget,
Yes.
almost half of these teenagers will not go to hospital.
Yes.
They actually consider
Exactly.
terminating pregnancy outside.
Yes.
So that is where even the mortality comes in. Because
Exactly.
they procure
Unsafe abortion.
yes, and then they come with now dire complications.
Exactly.
So it becomes even worse. There's a higher risk of getting mortalities
Yes.
from attempted termination of pregnancy.
Exactly.
You get?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is just the health aspect. You've not, there's an aspect of education.
Yes.
There's a whole stigma in more, especially the marginalized community.
Yes, that's actually what I wanted to ask Robert.
Yes.
Because now, apart from the medical repercussions, there are social repercussions to teenage pregnancies.
Exactly,
that-
and actually, when you look at it from a human rights perspective,
Yes.
and when you look at our laws, especially when you look at our constitution, the number of human rights violations that that comes with a teenager becoming pregnant, are many. I mean, the first is right to life and dignity.
Yes.
As Doc has already explained, you will see the kind of challenges that they go through, and unfortunately, there are some who might even either die, especially the ones that tried to terminate the pregnancy.
Yes.
Using
unsafe methods.
unsafe methods. So
Yeah.
that's a violation to Article 43 of the Constitution,
Yeah.
which talks about access to health.
Yes.
Highest attainable standard of health.
Yes.
Then there's also the right to equality and freedom from discrimination. I mean, there's a lot of discrimination when they become pregnant, as he has said, one of the leaders was saying.
Yes.
And then lastly, there is also the right to freedom and security of the person. And the reason why this violation arises is because, as I explained, teenagers cannot consent to any
sexual activities.
So most of the cases leading to teenage pregnancy are actually sexual and gender-based violence.
Yes.
So, which is also another big problem in our society. So basically, we are saying that as a society, we have failed our teenagers because you can see the kind of all these violations that they go through as a result of getting pregnant.
Yes.
And also parents are also not absolved here. The parents also have a responsibility, and when you look at the Constitution and also even the Children's Act, parents have a duty to provide safety and well-being of their children.
Yes.
So a lot of time you see also maybe parents have become too busy with trying to make a living to a point where they have almost neglected their children.
Yes.
So that you find that now such cases ensues.
Yeah, because even in such community experiences, you'd find that, for example, a teenager who has tried to secure an unsafe abortion, chances are their parents have no idea that this kid was pregnant, or even or even by the time they come to get a whiff of what was happening, it's already into the complications, which means that parents also have a role to play to check in. Yes, Doc, I don't know what would be your advice on that, and also talk to me about postpartum stress in teenage pregnancies.
Okay.
The awareness, like what are the chances that a mom will bring a teenage pregnant daughter to the hospital?
To the hospital.
Or a dad, yes.
Yeah. I'll give you an experience that I had.
Yes.
So I had, I think she was 17 years old.
Yeah.
Then I was working in a medical department, not the maternity department.
Yes.
So we got a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah.
She came with, she was swollen.
Yes.
Her entire body was swollen.
Yeah.
And she was vomiting, abdominal pain.
Yeah.
She came wearing a hoodie, a very big hoodie.
Yes.
So the mom believed the girl had malaria.
Yes.
So even from the outpatient, somehow she came to the medical ward because
Yes.
her pressure was high.
Yeah.
She was swollen. We thought it was maybe something to do with her kidneys.
Yes.
But also she had a history of travel from the western side, so there was a possibility for malaria also.
Yes.
But now when we examined the lady, she kept lying on you about it.
Yeah.
But the lady was about 36, 37 weeks pregnant. So very big tummy.
Yeah.
But you couldn't
But-
tell. So these teenagers are quite interesting.
Yeah.
They can hide stuff from you. So the mom brought the baby to the hospital thinking it was malaria.
Yeah.
But it was actually a pregnancy. She was having what you call hypertension in pregnancy, preeclampsia.
Yeah.
It's a very common complication like I've talked about.
Yeah.
It's very dire. So
Yes.
he had to change the diagnosis and take the baby to the maternity side.
Exactly.
But now the mom was going crazy.
Yes.
Because now mtoto akwaje pregnant. Of course it's a case, and you know how restrictive our families are when
Yes.
it comes to sexuality.
Yes.
So I've never seen, it's unlikely to find a parent that is voluntarily coming to bring up
Yes.
a pregnant teenager.
Exactly.
Most of the time,
Yeah.
especially in public setup, they come with their partners.
Yes, sir.
From my experience, they
From
come with
your
their
experience.
partners. Once in a while, you'll get parents who
Yes.
are, would have said, they're quite progressive.
Yes.
And they have good intentions for their children.
Yes, sir.
But I've seen the interesting cases I've seen
Yeah.
just come with their partners.
Exactly.
You notice later it's pregnant.
So, a question to both of you. I want to understand where the disconnect is, because by the time a kid is 36 weeks pregnant, that's about how many months?
It's about that's almost term.
That's almost
about
term. That is
8, 9
eight.
months. Yeah.
Because I think I have had an interaction from I want to say a specific family where the kid was actually 7 months. I am like, what is the problem? Is the kid too good at hiding it, or is the parent unaware, or what happened? Especially, I want to talk about the extreme cases, because that spectrum is big, because 0 to 12 weeks, you might not, the parents is also not a magician really, but for it to go to almost the end of the spectrum, this kid lives at home, this parent comes in, or at least in a week they are available. Where is that disconnect?
I think parents need to be more vigilant, especially in the modern society.
Yes.
Because and also try to be more to create a conducive environment to have constructive conversations with our children. By the time this girl is hiding pregnancy for all that time,
yes,
clearly tells something about their relationship with their parents.
Exactly.
So there's a gap. Parents need to accept reality that abstinence among teenagers is almost being washed out in this generation.
Exactly.
So they need to sit down and have constructive conversations.
Yes.
Because imagine if she attempted to terminate a 36 weeks pregnancy. Yes. That is very difficult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
it's
is
just by grace
whole
that we
baby.
noted. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's actually a red flag. Or rather, it's alarming that you have a baby who is 36 and they're hiding from you.
Exactly.
You know, you should take it upon yourself as
Yes.
a parent to change.
Exactly.
And be more,
because I am imagining in that specific scenario, if the mom is just finding out, definitely the environment around it, the psycho environment around it, the mom is to get in line to be able to provide the attention that this kid that is pregnant needs is almost impossible. So this definitely means there's going to be a lot of postpartum stress, which Doc I wanted you to talk about before we start wrapping up. The rate of postpartum stress from teenage pregnancies, how is that looking like in terms of community experiences?
Yes. Unfortunately, we don't have well documented statistics about it.
Yes, especially
But-
coming from a medical point, because
Yeah.
you may not exactly be able to now follow up
Yeah,
after.
but exactly.
Yes.
But I've had the privilege to interact with these community groups. Like around Thika, we have a few community groups that actually support teenage mothers, and so they kind of provide psychosocial support for them.
Yes.
The fact remains that they're at a higher risk of getting into postpartum depression,
Yes.
postpartum psychosis. So we've had incidences where a baby would give a teenager would give birth,
Yeah.
and then they abandon the babies,
Yeah.
or they get serious mental illnesses such as
Yes.
postpartum psychosis
Yeah.
and depression. It's quite
Exactly.
common.
Yes.
So we have support groups for teenage mothers, and I think it's important that I don't know, maybe my colleague will talk more about it, but the ones that I've interacted with, I think they're doing a fantastic job in terms
Yes.
of the support network.
Yes.
Because it's really, really important considering the repercussion that we have from these people. Remember,
Exactly.
the stress started not just from the pregnancy.
Yes.
And most of the time, the person responsible for the pregnancy is either an old person,
Yeah.
it's either a case of sexual abuse,
Or
So-
a fellow teen who has
Yes.
no idea
Yes,
what to
and
do.
then a background of poverty,
Yeah.
maybe lack of education. So put all that, then combine with the biological stress that comes with
That
pregnancy
is already.
and the stigma in the society.
Yes.
Maybe if she tried, she was in high school, now she has to stop school.
Yeah.
So now she's at home. There's a lot of stress that comes with it.
Exactly.
So therefore we need we need intentional support to these teenage mothers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, Robert, you can pick it up from there. What are we doing? Is there anything that is happening in the Red Card campaign that is sorting, the social surrounding of teenage pregnancies? Like Doc is trying to say, communities, people that can actually be able to talk to one another, because also I think isolation is part of the problem. Like every teenage pregnant kid thinks the end of the world is here. So are we having any plannings around that?
No. Okay, specifically with the Red Card campaign,
Yeah,
no, because
yes.
this is a call to for accountability.
Exactly, yes,
But we do have other projects and other programs where we try to support all kind of vulnerable or people
Yes.
in vulnerable situations.
Yes.
And my other colleagues also do that work where we work with teenage girls, we work with even widows, basically people who are marginalized and vulnerable in our society.
Yes.
So that's one, the first thing. Another thing that I also wanted to mention,
Yes.
when you're talking about the disconnect,
Yeah.
I think the biggest disconnect we have is with the lack of information, because even sometimes you're also making the assumption that parents also have all the information that they need
Yes, sir.
with regard to that, and sometimes it's not the case.
Yes.
You find that there are many myths and misconceptions that people in different communities rely on. But the biggest challenge basically is the lack of information, especially with the teenagers, because for me, I've had many stories that there are even teenagers who are saying that you cannot become pregnant when you have sex on the first time.
Yeah.
Or you cannot have sex, you cannot become pregnant when you get so there are all those kind of so the biggest challenge is lack of information, because if they have the correct information, then we will be able to prevent all these cases of teenage pregnancy. We will not even have to get to the point where we are now discussing about
exactly
the management.
How to handle management if we had handled the
what we need to focus on is on the information and the prevention.
Exactly.
Making sure that the rights of these girls are not violated, because by the time we are now talking about management, we are talking about
it has already happened,
something that has already happened.
Exactly.
Yes. So for me, I would stress more on comprehensive sexuality education, especially in school, both in schools, but also parents also have to play a role at home.
Yes.
And then in terms of our leadership, they have to make sure that they provide the services and the products that they are in charge. They are in offices that are supposed to provide this, and also just calling to account for people who make reckless, some of these reckless statements with regard to, because it contributes to it's part of the problem, especially in instilling stigma.
Exactly.
Yes.
To the entire community in general.
Yes.
I like that you've already handled. You already started handling proposed interventions like information, because we are talking about the myths and we are like, wait, how could someone believe that? But it's because we are coming from a point of knowledge. Because how on earth would you think that if you had sex standing you would not get pregnant? We need to to tear apart some of those myths. Yes, demystify some of those myths properly to parts, so that no teenager will be having such thoughts or such beliefs in their mind, or even mothers or even fathers in the community. Doc, what are some of the other proposed interventions for teenage pregnancies?
I think I would say we can't insist enough on information.
Yes.
Once we beat that, and when you talk of teenagers,
yes,
you have teenagers in KU. There are so many people here in tertiary institutions
yes,
that are 18 years old, 19 years old.
Yeah.
And I learned from this institution, from the medical school.
Yeah.
And we still interact with the people who are in second year and they didn't know how P2 works. They didn't know how contraception works.
Yeah.
So it's not just information, but how do you use this information? People know that contraceptives exist.
Yeah.
If you ask random people about contraceptives, they tell you quite a number.
Yes.
But the tragedy comes in where they don't know how to use them. They don't have the information on how to use them correctly.
Yes. Let me just cut you, because I had an experience that you to jump out of your skin.
Yeah.
I don't even know, I can't remember who we were having the conversation with, but some teenagers had an issue of weight gain and physical change. They're like, Mimi, contraception, no. I don't want to be fat, I don't want to be thin.
Yeah, it's true.
So even accessing the right information, because knowing the disadvantages and advantages of each and these contraceptives will help you even make an informed decision. That a teenager is very stigmatized from weight gain. Just imagine how they would handle a pregnancy, because it's going to happen if they are not going to use contraceptives. So you can already imagine the kind of people, the kind of information that is out on the streets.
Yeah, it's I think, and then when you talk about information, there's also something that comes along with it. It's information and products.
And products, yes.
So another way to sort it is, do we have access to contraceptive services?
Yes.
Do you have is an 18-year-old lady able to access contraceptives?
Yes.
Is a teenage mother able to access contraceptives?
Yeah.
We need to have that conversation, because you are empowered with information as well as services.
Yes.
These are very important. They go hand in hand. You can't have one and lack the other.
Exactly.
You have the product, you don't have information, you misuse it.
Yes.
Most teenagers are at a higher risk of stopping contraceptives because of the side effects. Like you said, I get into it, I don't want. It's actually statistically been proven that teenagers are at a higher risk of stopping contraception because of the side effects.
Yes.
They imagine it's too much for them to bear. So they stop.
Exactly.
But but as part of the solution also, because like my colleague has said, there's a lot of accountability that we need to put in place.
Exactly.
We need to, there's a case, the youngest teenager in our country, 1986, she was 9 years old.
Yeah.
She got pregnant from an older person. In 2015, there was a 10-year-old girl who got pregnant from a 60-year-old man who happened to be her guardian during childhood.
Yes.
So we need to have accountability. We need to strengthen our legal system so that we put these people, we make them accountable for their actions.
Exactly.
And of course protect the children's right.
Exactly.
So that is quite important. And of course we have to address the stigma, like my colleague said again. We have to demystify all the myths around it.
Exactly.
So that we raise a community of teenagers that are well informed.
Exactly.
So they're able to make informed decisions. Because now what we are doing, we are leaving them at the mercies of TikTok and Instagram, and that is tragic.
Exactly. That is very, very tragic. I want us to prepare for closing remarks because we are out of time. You would wonder, we've had this conversation for about an hour. Gilo is saying, as a teenager, I'm learning a lot from this, and I would really love to advocate for this type of education to get my fellow teens out there. Akunda Ismail is saying, great conversation. There is also a need to address peer pressure and the need of peer education in schools and in media, which we agree. Mugeni Nelly is saying, I love this topic. The girl child should be empowered, and also harmful cultural practices should be addressed and stopped. I think everyone is speaking a thing from what we are having. The Mufasa is saying harmful practices should stop and get forums to address and make awareness. Loving the show. Thank you guys very much. So as you can hear, we are having contributions for this conversation. Debbie Rono is saying also sex education needs to be clearly put out there with no fear. We couldn't agree more. Yes, I just want us to have closing remarks, because this is a wide topic. This is a topic we could have over a whole year and still not finish. So closing remarks from Robert before we go to Doc and close.
Yeah, so this is a crisis. When almost 700 girls are getting pregnant in one day, it's a big crisis, and we need to, all of us, put our hands and minds together.
Yes.
And everybody who has a responsibility towards these children, they must play their respective responsibilities. That starts at home with the parents, in schools, and also now those people who have the mandate, that they make sure that they do what is necessary for them to so that we can prevent this crisis from continuing.
That is true. So I don't think I could say it any better, really. Doc, closing remarks.
Yeah, teenage pregnancies is a global phenomenon.
Yes.
And at least 15% of our teenagers in this country have been pregnant before. 1% have attempted to terminate their pregnancies.
Yes.
So therefore it calls for joint responsibility at individual levels, the community level, the national level. It spans across. So we have a responsibility, a moral responsibility, to educate our teenagers so that they grow to be well-informed adults, and even during their teenagehood, so that to curb this issue of teenage pregnancies in our country.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Doc. I think this is calling. Like I said, this conversation is going to affect you anyway, because whoever you are, a teenage girl somewhere. Another final question to you, Robert. How can the general public plug into the Red Card campaign? How can they be able to plug in, and what activities are we expecting?
Yeah, so I think one of the ways that they can be able to plug in is for them, wherever they are, to call on the elected representatives, especially those ones who are mandated with making sure that our teenagers, are protected. They do that whether it's through social media, whether it's mainstream media. This campaign is on social media, is on Twitter, it's on mainstream, like what we are doing here. So they need to support. They need to ask their leaders, mostly, especially governors in counties, especially in counties where there are high rates of teenage pregnancies. They will need to hold to account perpetrators who perpetrate these cases, and they need to make sure that they are held accountable, as I said, because this is a very gross human rights violation that's happening to our young girls.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how they can support the campaign.
That's how they can support. That means actually on the next election, if that is not part of the agenda that your governor, your senator, your MCA has on their list, there is something that says this is not the right person. Thank you gentlemen for being here. Thank you for helping me disseminate that conversation in a tight time but wholesomely. Thank you so very much. Let's go and all of us play our part, and thank you for visiting us. We hope to have you a bit more often so that we can disseminate some of these things from their root, hence being able actually to offer solutions, long-lasting solutions. Guys, thank you so much for staying tuned in, for having contributing to this conversation. We are almost wrapping up, so let's take a sweet quick short and sweet break, and then come back and actually close the show with our art calendar.
you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Lola is an app that gives you a chance to watch videos, listen to audios, and read articles wherever you are for free. Motivational stories, dramas, campus life, technology, lifestyle, adventure, sports, academics, jobs, entertainment, and more. Download Lola now on Play Store. All you need, you got Lola.
Ni kaunti maarufu kwa kuzalisha maziwa na ukuzaji wa majani chai. Pia, serikali ya kaunti inawahimiza wakulima kukumbatia mitindo mingine ya kilimo kuzidisha mapato.
Kama kuna kikundi moja inafanya biashara ya kuuza kuku, hao pia tumewafadhili kuwafunza jinsi ya kuhandle zile kuku kwa sababu wanaleta kwa wingi.
Haya yote tunakuletea katika Boresha Kilimo, toleo la kaunti ya Bomet.
Kilimo ni nguzo kubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
Folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu, pepo pa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you have had a fantastic time right here on Art and Culture Monday. We're here for the last link to close because you've been with me all the way from 7 a.m. Right about now, it's 51 minutes past 9 a.m. So we just want to do our art calendar as promised, and then we wrap up. Number one is that KUTV is having an activation. You remember the other one we had at Spamol, something in that line, and this time we are actually going to be having an activation at TRM, that is Thika Road Mall, on the 29th and on the 30th of March. That means that we are going to be there. If you're a small business or a big business that would like to advertise with us, to actually hold hands with us and do some good work together, then you are welcome for the activation that is going to be happening on the 29th and the 30th of March at TRM or Thika Road Mall. All right, so join us, come hear what we can offer, let's hear what your product or your service is, and we just might get out of there with an amazing collaboration. So be there for the KUTV activation again at the Thika Road Mall or TRM on the 29th and the 30th of March. Be there, let's meet, let's say hello, let's see how we can collaborate, and let's bring KUTV closer home. All right, so be there for that one. Moving on, we have the Colorful Festival, the Color Festival actually, Nairobi Color Festival. This is going to be happening on the 20th of April. The year is 2024, of course, and this will begin at 10 a.m. till late. There is going to be top DJs, artists, gaming area, bar, food and thrift stores, kids area, and of course, colors and more. The tickets are going for 800 bob for advanced tickets. Couple tickets are going for 1400 bob. A group of 5 is paying 3,500, and tickets at the gate will be going for 1,000 bob. This also provides free entry for kids under the age of 12. That's a great deal. It is going to be happening at the Carnival Grounds, Nairobi. Of course, the tickets are available, and one of our own is actually part and parcel of this Nairobi Color Festival. So I want you to get your tickets from colorfestive.hasosasa./Ojwang. Yes, Ojwang Mariam is part and parcel of that. So if you can get your tickets at hasosasa.shop/Ojwang, you will actually have been part and parcel of KUTV Kenya /Ojwang Mariam. All right. So go get that and get into your Color Festival, and bring your kid. If they are under 12, they get in for free, which I think is a very good deal. Moving on, we have another one. VM Entertainment brings Eats and Beats Festival. Yes, so VM Entertainment is bringing your way Eat and Beats Festival. This is going to be going down on the 30th of March. I told you this end month is Easter, so there is going to be a lot of activities happening. So the Eat and Beats Festival is going to be going down on the 30th of March, 12 noon till dawn. All right, so there is going to be a number of the people that are going to be featuring is DJ Brito, Cody Tena. There is going to be DJs Cartel, Brown Skin Bala, Mitch Effect. There is going to be a lot of artists on set. This is actually going to be happening at the Homeland Gardens behind Nibs College. That is where this is going to be taking place. So if you can be there, get your ticket and actually attend the Eats and Beats Festival. Moving on, we are finishing on with the Vibe 254. Of course, we've told you about the Vibe. They have a new poster actually showcasing the artists that are going to be there. African Vic, Modest Chabari, Wanjine, and of course Kinoti. The Vibe 254 is going to be having the Lover Boys edition. Tickets are on purchase at the vibe254.hasosasa.shop. So advanced tickets are going for 1,500 bob. Couple tickets are going for 2,800 bob, and at the gate you will get your single ticket at 2,000 bob. The gates open at 12:30 p.m. and this is going to be the last Sunday of the month of March. That is March 31st, 2024 at the ASK Showground along Ngong Road. All right, so get your tickets and you're going to be having a great time at the Vibe 254. The last one is actually one of the launches that we had last Monday. Otis Janam. Otis Janam is a film by Dr. Zippy Okoth, and she does amazing work, phenomenal work. So Otis Janam is still on this 27th of March, the year of course 2024, at the KICC grounds. This is going to be a red carpet premiere, so come looking like a red carpet. All right, there's going to be cocktails from 5 p.m. and the screening will start from 7 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. All right, the dress code of the day is Luo Glam, so better show up glammed up. Regular tickets are going for 2,000 bob. VVIP tickets are going for 4,900 bob. There's a number right there. There's a till number right there, so you can buy your ticket and go and enjoy the film that is Otis Janam. All right, that is going to be it on our art calendar. But like I have told you, there is a lot. There is a lot that is going to be happening the Easter weekend. So not this weekend, the next one. There's a lot that is going to be happening. So just grab a ticket for one of the festivals or the premieres or the plays that are going to be happening, and you can have a fantastic close of the month of March. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your feedback. So thank you very much. Let's come back and close the show.
Because I like breaking protocol, I just want to remind you to come for the premiere of my film on 27th of March at KICC. Don't miss it. It's of women heroes, Otis Janam.
Yes, that is a personal invite from Dr. Zippy Okoth at the Women in Film Awards, welcoming you to go and watch the red carpet premiere of Otis Janam. Thank you guys. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for all of your feedback. Thank you for listening in. And I hope that your Monday has just started out great. I'll see you on the last Monday of the month of March, next Monday, same time, same place, same amazing show.